Welcome back to Rogue 16. We are back again with another live with the boys in the UK, and I think Jason will be jumping on eventually. I think I don't know if he was, I'm not sure what he was doing. Taking a nap, maybe. I have no idea. So, but he's jumping on soon. So, hopefully we get some people in the chat. If you're in the chat, if you're watching, leave some comments. Happy to kind of bring some of your comments into the show. Otherwise, yeah, Tony and Parm, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Good to be back on.
Yeah, you guys doing well? Did you guys have you guys received anything at all fun lately?
Just the AT-AT that came in.
Yeah.
The RS-AT-AT, yeah.
Week. Yeah, last week.
Dude, in, I feel like I've gotten kind of an endless amount of things all at once. Like
that does happen.
It's crazy. I just, sometimes that's really fun and exciting. Sometimes it's like, well, it'd be nice if they spread them out a little bit more.
I always find that's the way it works out. Sometimes you have this gap where you get nothing and then a bunch of stuff piles in all at once. And I prefer it when I get things spaced out so you can appreciate it when it comes in.
I do too.
When things come in all together, that can be a bit challenging.
Yeah, honestly, I prefer it that way too, just for the sake of like when we make content for like unboxings and stuff like that. I like to have, I like to do some unboxings throughout the year versus like nothing and then all of a sudden we get stuff and then nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's just nice to be able to spread things out. But I just got a bunch of stuff, man. I got the RS-AT-AT came in. My Regal Robot Yism came in.
Oh, nice.
Which is great. I'll be taking some pictures. I don't think I'll do an unboxing for that because we already did one, but it's freaking fantastic. It really is.
That's a great piece, isn't it?
It's so great. I honestly I had trouble finding the butthole to stick the pole into. I read the thing and it was like stick it up his butt, and I was like I don't see one because I think the hair was covering it, so I had to figure out how to do that, but it worked out. And so that one was fantastic. And then the other awesome, which we'll see, I'll show you some pics later and we'll talk about it. But the other awesome experience I had was just building that Merlin models at ATST,
turned out good.
Return of the Jedi version.
It's a great model.
It's we'll talk about it, but man, it's really good. Like I don't think I was expecting anything because I don't know what to expect. But opening it up and seeing the level of quality and the level of detail they've gone into, and just, I don't even know what to say. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really.
I've not heard a bad thing about their APSTs. So that's
it's so good. Honestly, I'm very, very tempted to possibly get the ESB version.
Yeah, you should.
Because the whole the nice thing about these pieces and some other pieces maybe in the future is that you can keep some of them raw and they look really good.
Yeah.
Like this one looks really, really good raw, like just the way it is without paint weathering.
But they are gray anyway as well, aren't they?
Yeah, totally. Gray, so, and so you can't, that doesn't work all across the board necessarily. Yeah, so I think the ESB Chicken Walker, the Return of the Jedi, ATST, like all that stuff can stay as it is, and you can see the metal pieces, and it looks great.
Yeah, seeing the armatures are positive of keeping it unpainted.
It's great. It's so cool. So I'm keeping it that way for this one, but anyway, we'll talk more about it as we get to it. But man, I'm kind of smitten. I freaking love it, and. I've kind of looked at a couple other things and been like, I wonder if I could get some other models, but then I thought like, I really honestly don't want to get into the painting side of things. I just don't.
Yeah, that's the challenge I would have as well. I could build them, but painting them is just
the paint.
The
paint's a whole other thing.
I don't even have the space to paint a model. So,
but I don't even have the space. I don't even have the space to display them. Like I was thinking about some of these, like I know Merlin Models, I think, is making a Sandcrawler, I believe, right now. And it's still massive. Like they've even shrunk it down from what it's supposed to be, and it's still freaking huge. So I just don't have the space for that. I can't be getting into freaking a ton of models. It's just not going to work.
And I think a Sandcrawler you'd want painted. I think that there's a lot of character
That's
in the
exactly.
paintbrush.
I talked to Jason about that. Now we said the same exact thing. I think Jason's getting on. Let me put him in here. He's on. He's here. He's just not on camera yet. So, but yeah. So anyway, I've had that experience. It took me, I think I said 9 hours. It was 9 something hours, and it was like the frustrating thing is it was over the course of like 3 days or something, because we actually recorded the whole thing. Like we actually did a 9 hour, I think, recording of this thing, and I have to somehow edit this thing and put it out. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm actually going to do that or not, because it seems like such a freaking ridiculous joke.
Did you glue your fingers together? Because every model maker glues his fingers
almost.
Yeah?
I almost glued my finger to the piece several times.
Okay.
And I kind of freaked out when it happened. I wouldn't know what to do at that point. But yeah, you know what's interesting is I definitely over glued. Like I definitely put too much glue on things at times.
Sure. I think that's again a normal part of when you start out modeling. I fix stuff, for example, on models that I've received, and you know, the first time I ever did that, I definitely overglued, and then you kind of realize that you only need a tiny amount. But I think that just comes with experience.
Yeah, Especially like the eyelids, where like the eyelids have to be kind of like drooped down a little bit. And so I look at that, I'm like, this needs a shit ton of glue, right? Like, I don't know what to say. It's got to.
No, there was plenty of times where I was like, go easy.
Yeah. Well, and the truth of the matter is, and Jason mentioned this too when we were doing it, is that like, if you're doing painting and weathering, who gives a shit? Like, you can cover all that shit up anyway. Like it doesn't really matter unless it's like a ton of glue, right? Like
you can cover up a lot of mistakes.
You can cover up a lot of mistakes and a lot of issues that way. So I can understand
like I said, like John always says, you hide your crimes with the paint.
Yeah. John does say that. You're right. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, I just had a great time doing it. I appreciate Jason for actually just sitting there with me, as boring as that is, and doing, making sure I didn't screw up. And then we just followed the Merlin models
instructions.
Followed the instructions. It was awesome. So, but we'll look at some of those pictures coming up in a little bit here. And then, otherwise, I'm trying to think of what else I got in. The Lowland Props, restraining bolt. Yeah. The C-3PO restraining bolt. So that was really cool.
Yeah, a lot of people
that thing's beautiful. So I got that, and then I'm trying to think. Oh, well, so in buying the ATST for Merlin models, I got that deal where you get a tower for free, and so I have that. I am going to be shipping that to Jason, which I think he's going to be shipping the one he finished to me, which is awesome. They look really cool, so I'm excited to get that. That'll be fun. But yeah, so it's just been a very eventful time of receiving things, which is cool. I wasn't kind of expecting all of those things, so happy days, I guess. That's fun. But otherwise, yeah, anybody else receive anything? Jason, did you get anything that we haven't talked about?
I don't know.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah, no.
Other than the AT-AT helmet,
Yeah, I got one thing coming in, but that was more of a person-to-person trade on a build.
Yeah.
But no, I get a lot of things going out the door, as a matter of fact. Not much.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff I get coming in is always just, model kits or parts, things that I'm building for stuff, but no like actual items. I did get one of the turrets in for Merlin. It was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a great build.
Yeah.
I had fun doing that. Great detail. I got the Hero one. Same one, like you said, that I'll be shipping the finished and painted one off to you, and then I'll build yours as it comes in. But
praise Jesus.
Yes, so that was a lot of fun. And
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, just keeping it simple.
Yeah, it's really cool. Okay, but yeah, otherwise, I mean, look, guys, it's a bummer today. It's kind of a bummer that Nathan's not on with us, because there is randomly a hot toy to talk about. So let's kind of get into some of this stuff. There is this thing that it's cool looking. I when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? I don't remember seeing this, and I think someone said is it from the Clone Wars or is it from?
Yeah, it's from one of the episodes in the Clone Wars, I think, where they're hunting Ahsoka or something like that.
Okay.
But again, I think you've got to be a real big fan of Clone Wars to remember these appearances, because I think they're only in like one episode. So
right.
I certainly didn't remember which episode they were from.
Yeah, Jason,
yeah, cool
you like this, don't you? Jason, didn't you say you thought this was cool? No.
He's fainted with excitement.
Yeah, he's not on. I talked to Jason. I talked to him on the phone. He said, I thought last time we talked, he said this was a cool figure. I mean, I think this looks really, I mean, especially because it comes with this Hound thing, right? This like.
Yeah. So I think that's really cool.
It's so interesting. Like, it's such a random.
Reminds me of the Predator dogs that were in. I know these that were they with the Tusken Raiders in?
Yeah,
was it Mandalorian?
Those. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, so do you guys remember the NYC statue, the Tusken NYC statue? They had stuff like this in it, right?
Yeah.
There's a name for this species. I can't remember what it is, but yeah.
It's that, I mean, the helmet's really cool, isn't it? It's got that sort of RT scout sort of thing that they've got going with it. It does look really cool.
Yeah,
I just don't remember. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the episodes with this one in. I was like you, Matt. I was like, where did this come from? I mean, but it looks cool.
It's very left field, isn't it? It's you got to be a big Clone Wars fan or a Clone Trooper fan to add this to the collection.
Very interesting.
But it'll probably be limited, wouldn't it? I guess. I suspect they're not going to produce a huge amount of them. They probably know that.
No. I don't think. I don't think they're gonna. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if is it limited. I don't know if it's limited though. Is it?
Not sure, but their runs vary, don't they, in terms of how many they make? And
yeah, sure.
Quite often they just do a single batch and they're sold out, so you never really know with Hot Toys.
It looks very sort of kit bash, doesn't it? I mean, it's obviously based on what was in the cartoon,
right?
But you can see a lot of parts. It's probably very easy for them to to make this, but it does look great.
Do you think this is metal?
I wouldn't have. I would thought it's plastic. I reckon. I mean, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know. I don't know.
Metal. Looks metal, but I mean, it looks cool, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's just kind of such a random, weird. It's just super random. It's cool. It's cool looking, and
they've definitely gone down the Clone Trooper rabbit hole, though, haven't they? They've produced so many now.
There's a huge market for this, though, isn't it? I mean, I'm out of the loop on this completely, but if you just go on YouTube, you'll see like people army building these, and there's a massive. I'm not connected with the 1/6 collecting really anymore, if you go on there is some real crazy collections with. Rows and rows of clone troopers. I saw one the other day. Some guy had focused just on one particular clone, and he had must have about 100.
Wow.
So there must be a market. There's obviously it's a money making machine for Hot Toys. But and I think if you do put loads of on display, that they do look great. But it's you've got to really be It's not for me. It's
a tough one, guys. This is one of those ones where we're kind of not sure what to say about this. It looks really cool. It's interesting. I really wanted to know if Nathan was going to pick this up. Is this something that is like super out of left field that even Nathan would just be like, nah, I don't think I'm going to get this, or is it different enough that he's like, yeah, I got to pick this up? I don't know, because he does have.
Well, he had a clone overflow shelf though, didn't he? When we were on last time, so I would be saying possibly not, but he could surprise us.
Yeah, it could be one of his favorite episodes of Clone Wars, right? That's the thing,
It's possible. It's possible.
I think the fact that it does look cool. I mean, it is a cool, helmet design, and you get the dog as well, or whatever you want to call it. It does look really good on display.
Yeah, that's a good pose, isn't it? With them pointing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're friends. They're friends with each other.
Not sure we're going to want to be cuddling up to that, but we go.
That's nice.
That's cool. That's good. That looks good.
That's cool. That's a cool pose. I like that. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Hot toy stuff looks freaking
real
fantastic.
randomness with Hot Toys releases, though, isn't there? They just
it is.
Just sort of spew all over the place, don't they?
Yeah, it is.
And then do surprise you though. They really do surprise you with stuff.
It's like a fire hose for a while, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of nothing, and then all of a sudden they're just sprinkling some out. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. That was the Hot Toys release.
Do we know the price on that? Do we know any pricing on that?
I don't know the price on this.
On Sideshow, I think.
I imagine. Let me. You know what? Let me look up Sideshow real quick and just see, because you would think it wouldn't be. Well, it comes with
crazy.
It comes with a dog thing though, so it is possible that might bump it up a tiny bit, but I can't find it. Dude, they sell
$300. It's $300.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. $300. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Chris Elliott's saying $300. Yeah.
There you go. Chris is the man when it comes to 1/6.
Well, I was going to say, I was going to say, I wonder if Chris is going to get this one.
Look, because it may be out of left field, but it does look very good. Like the Hot Toys. All their clones look really good. All the things they do. It's got to be, especially if you're a 1/6 collector, it has to be so tempting every time they come out with something, because it just they tend to knock almost all these out of the park. It would be hard. It would be hard to not get things. I think the clone ones, though, you got to be careful, man. Like, yeah, at some point, like,
there's so many variations.
Yeah, you're just gonna have too many, and what are you gonna do with the damn things? Like,
and sell it. The problem, I think we talk about it all the time now, is actually trying to sell Hot Toys. I'm still trying to move mine out of my collection, but I've got a pipeline of stuff just in boxes that is up for sale. It's just not moving at all. You're selling at a loss, basically.
Right.
It's impossible, and I hate to say this, but it reigns very true. I feel like as of the last maybe year or so, the 1/6 community has literally got to be one of the most toxic communities I've ever seen.
In terms of selling, Jason, or what? Just in terms of
selling, buying, every single transaction is a scam. You can't look, if you try to do some due diligence and look up like what something's selling for on eBay just to get an idea. They're like, oh, you searched highest to lowest, and anybody can list it at $1,000. And I'm just like, I'm just trying to get an idea of what's what. Like, it's just absurd. And then they're not selling for what they sold for, but there are a few figures out there that have retained their value or are still worth more than retail. But yet, because 8 out of 10 figures are selling at a loss, they want the $500 figures for $150.
Right.
It's like, well, it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
But the whole community there is unfortunate, because I used to love being part of the 1/6 community. I remember there wasn't a single day that didn't pass. It used to be called Sideshow Freaks.
Yeah.
I forget they changed the name now.
It's called Collector Freaks now, I think. Yeah, because I think they had to not affiliate themselves with Sideshow.
Yeah. But I used to check that those blogs and posts religiously, the customs and new releases, and get everybody's feedback. And it's not anymore. It's tough, man. It's just the floodgates open.
It's also just tough selling everything. I mean, we've talked about just this, Jason.
Yeah, it's not just
the whole Afterpay market, like the whole Afterpay thing, has kind of flowed into the peer-to-peer stuff now, where like
the mentality of it. Yes.
Every time you go to sell something, everybody wants to be like, hey, I'll give you a payment, in 2 weeks, and I'll split this. Let's split this up into 4 payments, 5 payments, or whatever. And it's
that's normalized if you're buying from a company, right? But when you're buying like peer to peer, that's very difficult.
But that's what everyone's kind of expecting.
Over.
Yeah, it's spilling over into.
Yeah, I agree.
Even low cost items, like I would expect it on something, a couple thousand. Like, we'll do a split payment, but I'm talking things that are a couple $100. People want to pay it over, 3 or 4 payments, or paid over a month, and And I don't think it's a matter of like not being able to afford it. I just think the psychology is that, there's your hands are in so many different cookie jars.
Yeah, spread it out.
And you're spreading yourself thin, and it's just
a psychological thing. It's
it's a
psychological thing. Yeah, it just makes you feel better when you're spending less per month.
Yeah.
You couldn't really do that with somebody you know and trust, right? If you're buying from a friend, I think that's
well, and it's Parm, the bigger problem, and this is, I'm sure everyone comes up against this at some point. Like the bigger problem is that you go to sell something. A lot of times you want money for something. You're either going to turn around and buy
it for a reason.
Right. You're either want to buy that something with that money, or you need it for something else. And it's like, when someone spreads that payment out for 4 or 5 months or whatever it is, like that doesn't help you. It doesn't work for the seller at all. No, so it makes it really hard. I just, I don't know. I tell you what, I got out of my Hot Toys at the perfect time. I mean, the absolute perfect time. Everything was like just top of the, like selling the Rogue One figures was fantastic. So, I mean, not that I think anyone should jump out of Hot Toys. I'm just saying that, like, I think Hot Toys are great. For me, I got out of them at the right time. I think it's
mine's been more of a sort of slow drip, really, where because I've really enjoyed the ones that I've had in my collection, and it's been really difficult to let go of them, because I've been sort of pontificating over it for the last couple of years. But my collection shifted quite a bit, and they are starting not to look right. The ones I've got left don't really sit well with the other sort of stuff that I've got in there. So, but I've sat on them and now I'm trying to sell them. I should have sold them maybe, it's hindsight, isn't it? Should have sold them maybe during the lockdown period, where I was selling stuff, but you could sell any, just everyone was buying everything, now the economy, the world economy's, tough, and people are now looking for, because the prices have come down now, people think they're in for bargains. People are open to bartering on eBay, and I found I've been doing this, and it's become really you just get the life sucked out of you, really. You think, oh no, I've now got to try and sell something, and that's why picking stuff to put into your collection now, I'm really hyper selective.
That's the knock-on effect, Tony. The knock-on effect of not being able to sell something is that you will not buy something, right? And so the retailers, the likes of Hot Toys and Sideshow and Regal Robot are going to suffer if people can't move stuff, right? Because typically you want to free funds from your collection to buy something, particularly if it's a big
exactly.
Exactly. There's only a certain amount you can.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer. Like retailers like Sideshow or somebody doesn't have some sort of like, we'll buy your collectibles exchange or something like that, where you go, look, I'm not going to get top dollar for this anyway, but let me sell it to Sideshow and I'll pick something else up, right? Like that would be really cool.
Taking your old DVDs back,
exactly. That'd be awesome.
Good idea.
Chris Elliott here says, I agree, Jason. Sideshow Freaks was a great forum 3 to 5 years ago.
And that's exactly when it's been a few years since I checked it out, but I used to love it.
Yeah,
most forums have gone downhill. I mean, I still frequent the Sideshow Freaks sometimes. Generally, when there's an OT release, I'll go on just to see what the feedback is. I still go on the Rebel Scum forums, but there's just very little traffic, particularly in the Prop Replicas domain and some of the other stuff that we're kind of into. There's just very little traffic in those areas, and you find most of the information you want on Facebook groups.
I know. Chris also said, if I collected all the different stuff you guys do, I'd sell my Hot Toys too, which I totally,
that's a fair point, Chris. I mean, I've got some Hot Toys as well. And like Tony, it's like, there's a point where I think, do they really belong in my collection anymore? I still get a kick out of them. I still really enjoy them.
Oh, they're amazing.
I'm the same. I've been, I've found it really, really difficult to part with them. And I'm letting. There's a couple I'm letting go now that I really, I'm sort of questioning. Even after I've boxed them up and put them away, I'm still thinking, do I really want to get rid of them?
Cool.
I have to.
I think they're
listen,
they're the biggest bang for your buck as far as collectibles are concerned. In my
Jason's the same way. Jason's the same way. I've been telling him how long to kind of get rid of his hot toys, but he really still likes them, and he still picks them up every now and then. Every now and then, if there's something really cool, I get it.
We all started
looking.
off as figure collectors, really, didn't we? With the original line, right? And that's how I started. So you know, there's that element of picking up a figure, which I think nothing else really hits that spot for me. Sometimes, you know.
I mean, I think Palms, I think said it to me before that, you know, they are if you can't get a life-size figure, you know, the Hot Toys or Sideshow is a shrunk down version of that, where you've got the costume.
That's what I treat it as a costume display.
And cool. It is, it's really tough. Hot Toys has been particularly difficult. Statues for me is still the worst. Nightmare, absolute nightmare. Try from reboxing it, which takes 5 times more time to pack up to the nail biting shipping of it.
And I'm still the idiot that buys some of these things. I actually really like statues. I really do. I'm trying to be very careful, because I mean, I agree with you. What are you gonna do? Like I've got Mythos Maul, not the old one, the newer, you know, the Mythos Maul, and then Ventress, and I'm looking at those like, what the hell do I need these for now? Like, I just don't need them anymore. With where my collection is kind of headed, and I'm just like, how do I get rid of this? Like, nobody's gonna buy this shit. Nobody wants it. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. You're just not going to make a whole lot of, if anything, off of it.
I question the value of a lot of stuff, really. I mean, if you people that aren't in the, you know, I don't know, a couple of friends of mine walked in, looked at my collection, they'd probably say it's £600-700. It's like, you know, they just, you know, the value, I guess, if you want something bad enough, you'll pay for it. We'll move on to the Propstore auction later. But
we will be.
You know, it's just down to what you're prepared to pay for it. But to then resell, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, there was that avenue available through eBay and the Facebook group. Even the Facebook groups, very difficult now. There's loads of stuff clogged up on the spaceport. Can't shift it. I've tried selling stuff on there. It's really tough. Everything sort of, there's a backlog of people trying to move stuff on, and I've noticed more and more people now trying to offload stuff, you know, because they've bought stuff, and you know, a lot of it may be space or funds. Difficult.
Well, and Chris, real quick, Chris says, I collect what I like. Don't worry about value. And
exactly.
I think most of us all do that.
Yeah.
I think most collectors, I would say, do that. I would hope so, at least. I mean, I'm not sitting here crying, being like, why am I picking certain things up?
First world problems, isn't it?
I really love some of the, like, most of the stuff that I've got. I just, sometimes I look at some of the stuff and I go, I probably should have made a different decision for a couple pieces. But
I've still got stuff like that I bought on FOMO and hype, and you know, most of it was probably, you know, was figures. And the reason I'm selling stuff really is more to do with space. You know, it's to free up space in my small room, and also just not have. My wife is sick of, you know, can't get into the garage because it's just full of packing boxes. You know, maquette boxes from Regal Robot, you know, and you know, it's the dirty little secret, you know.
I spent 2 days in the attic clearing out boxes and stuff, and all those maquette boxes, because they all come in an outer shipping box. I basically got rid of all the outer boxes and just kept the black boxes, but that saved a ton of space.
I know.
It's quite funny though, because you do see, so I mean, and I don't blame people at all, because you've got to put these things somewhere, where they've rented these huge storage units and they're just full of cardboard boxes.
Yeah, honestly,
and art boxes.
I've got a storage unit that I have, and we put a lot more like Christmas stuff and Halloween stuff, all that kind of stuff in it as well, and all our bags, things that we need to take trips with and stuff. But I do have a bunch of boxes in there, and I'm just like, well, like, it just keeps growing, and I kind of got to the point now where I'm like, all right, I need to not keep every single freaking box that I need to be a little more judicious about what boxes I keep, and get rid of some boxes too. But that's kind of the life when you don't have space. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of these people that live in these places that have massive basements, I mean, be thankful that you have space, because
yeah.
it's something else when you don't. Russell real quick says, I've become the same. I'm really slow. I've really slowed down on buying things. Sometimes selling stuff is very stressful. And you know, that's a probably a bummer for the entire industry altogether, is when selling becomes a problem for collecting. It does affect you, other people buying new things.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Well, you hit on it, Matt. I think it's important for people like Sideshow, you know, Regal, other companies that are selling stuff, that the selling market is strong, because you know, I'm pretty sure these companies are being affected at the moment by you know, the slowdown in people being able to shift stuff on. You know,
of course, yeah.
But
yeah, it's interesting. Chris also says, fortunately, I've resisted the temptation to collect helmets, statues, etc. I stay in my lane at 1/6, and that's smart. You know, if you can stay in that lane, good for you. I find it hard to stay in one specific lane, but you know, if you can, then good on you, because that's really hard to do. Really hard. Let's move on to something different real quick. This is, talk about controversial. This is interesting. I've been kind of excited to talk about this. We haven't done a spotlight on this yet. I think Jason and I will eventually do a spotlight specifically on this, but this is
wow. I haven't really seen this in much detail.
Have you not, Tony?
I have not.
I've
seen some quick pictures.
Very controversial, this, because
I've seen quite a few unboxings now and a few builds on YouTube.
Yeah.
What? Because it's not really Lego, or is it? Is it
very expensive? It's very expensive.
It's $1,000.
Oh, okay.
It's $1,000. Yes, $1,000.
Oh, wow.
And people were wanting. I think the big thing is people were wanting, well, not the full, not even this full sphere, but like even half the sphere. But if you look at what this is,
I'm beginning to think now that where his arm is at the moment, there's not much going on behind it.
Yeah, like this is how thin this thing is, and I understand why. Look, when you see what we'll see, we'll look at the minifig. But this is very displayable. Very displayable. Like you could put this up against a wall somewhere. It's got a little stand at the bottom. Like it's very displayable, very cool looking. I get it. I definitely get it. I just think people were expecting something different.
Sure.
And expecting, like, you know,
it's a lot of money. I've got to be. I mean, it looks amazing. A lot of money. But when you said $1,000, I'm getting a bit.
I mean, it comes with all these awesome minifigures, which is really
great.
Cool. Someone mentioned, I put this up yesterday, and someone mentioned that they are cutting corners with the minifigures, and I don't know what that means. Like, I don't.
Okay, so I guess I watched a few videos on this, and I guess with that, some of the minifigures have been updated to have like more points of articulation, and I guess they were assuming like for $1,000 set, you should be including updated versions of these figures, because some of these figures are up to 20 years old, right? When you have like a 3PO or
sure,
some of them maybe even farther back than that. But where the newer ones have more points of articulation, they're wondering why didn't they add those ones in? You know, especially from a diorama piece. If you're looking at a diorama, it's mainly to play, right? To pose, to play, to have more fun with it than just display it. So if the figures have limited articulation, then you're taking away from the play.
I wasn't aware that Lego came in any more points of articulation than
I wasn't either. I wasn't either.
No.
That's the first.
Is this a UCS set?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's Ultimate Collect. Yeah, it's a UCS
okay.
set. I'll be honest. I think, if price aside, as a playset, I think this is brilliant. I mean, but you know,
I mean, you can see like how
there's a wow factor.
Can you spend $1,000 on a playset? Because it's a displayable set, but it's a playset, right?
But it's very displayable.
But yeah, because I saw all the different. If you look at the videos, all the different little features they have, like they've got the little escape chute where they jump from the detention center into the trash compactor, and the trash compactor will kind of close in, and they've got all sorts of little Easter eggs and stuff going on. I think that's really clever.
Trash compactor.
It's an expensive set. I think this is their 4th Death Star that they've done, because I think they've done. They did
they did a smaller one, didn't they? They did
an original, which is kind of like a cutaway. Then they did the Death Star 2, which is basically a sphere. And then they did another one more recently, which was an update of the first one they did. And then they've done this one, which is kind of entirely.
Well, they have the one that the guys are building in the Spider-Man movie, right?
Yes.
That's a Lego Death Star, right? As well.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
So yeah, I just think people were expecting something different. That's all. And you know, once they got this thing, it's like, what the hell? I mean, he's having a great time. But
he's loving it.
Yeah, but and
I think what they should have done is on the rear of this, it's literally nothing. I think what would have been a clever thing to do is on the rear they should have done like a trench run, and then had some ships and stuff, and you could
that's a good idea.
You could just both sides.
That's
you
cool.
could do like a that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah,
maybe just more like a Death Star surface attack type of thing. That probably would have given collectors a little bit more of a a different feature, but. I like it. I think there's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on, isn't there? So,
but I can understand why people think it's a crazy price. Interestingly, that platform there with the hangar. I think Lego came out with a smaller Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I think apparently that fits perfectly on that as well. So I don't know if they did that.
Oh, okay.
On purpose.
Honestly, I mean, kind of what do you expect? Lego's expensive. Lego's just expensive anyway, so I expect something this size to cost a lot of money. But I can understand that people were, that were expecting something different, didn't get that, and I can appreciate them not liking something like that. But like you, Parm, this is very displayable. I get that it's that's probably maybe what they were going for, and it's got a lot of interesting things.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things about it with the, the mechanics of it that I've seen, and that's fun, and you got to remember part of the Lego experience is the build.
Yeah, sure.
And if it's a fun build, then that's something to
my nightmare. Building that Falcon was a freaking nightmare, dude. I really enjoyed it for a while until I had to do things over and over and over and over again. I just oh gosh.
I think this is a collecting nightmare for me. You see, I've seen some really very cool collection rooms which are just Lego focused. But if you've got to move house or you've got to backwards engineer these things, I mean, back into boxes or something.
Just putting them back into boxes is a nightmare because they'll come in separate bags. You build it in process. I think if I would ever put my stuff back in a box, it would not go in individual bags.
Do people actually do that? Do they actually?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do they?
How do you sell a set on when you build it?
That seems impossible. That seems
impossible.
Crazy to me.
Yeah, it seems more time consuming than actually building the damn thing.
That's crazy, guys. But
I don't know. I can't imagine. That's a dilemma with the Lego as well. Like you say, Tony, it's moving them and but they're fun. I think Lego. I think what they've done with the license is better than Hasbro have done with the license, in my view. I think they've done incredible with the license.
Well, I know you don't like I know you didn't like the Falcon, Matt. I think I saw it.
I do like
you've got it, Palm, haven't you?
I've got the Falcon. I still have it.
Yes,
I mean, the wife still got it.
It's massive,
but I've still got it.
Yes, man. Yeah, that's the thing that threw me was how big it was. It was absolutely huge.
Ian Thompson says it's a cool set, but it would take me 10 years to build it, and you're not wrong. It would take me a long time as well. This dude on camera down here, he built it pretty quick. Apparently, he's just having his grand old time. I think this is one of the cooler things.
This is what people buy it for, isn't it? The minifigs.
Yeah, this is one of the cooler things about this set is all the minifigures you get and all the interesting things. I don't know if these are some of these are exclusive to this set.
Yeah,
I would imagine
the Imperial Dignitary and the Red Droid, I think, are exclusives to this, where they've never been in a set before, as I understand. I may be wrong, but that's what I heard somebody say on a review.
Okay.
I like it. I still think Lego, like I said, they do great things, but price wise and maybe what people were expecting. I think whenever you get something that you weren't expecting, then it's always a bit of a kicker. So
man, he's just having the time of his life.
Well, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
But that just gives you an idea of the size of it again. I mean, it's a sizable piece. Again, I'll say it over again. It's so freaking displayable, which is pretty awesome. This part's freaking great.
Yeah, I love that. I was looking at that. That looks that looks fantastic.
That's cool. And they've got the little dude around it that are
they've got the Death Star gunners.
doing the whole thing. Like,
love the detail. Looks very technical. You know,
cool.
it does look really good, but $1,000.
Whew. Man.
Yeah, Lego's an expensive hobby. I mean,
it's so expensive.
Particularly if you're doing them all, they release a fair few sets a year. So I can imagine, for them it's
that's cool.
Yeah, and you get to
get a little.
You do get this guy without the without the shirt
he's like
on.
In the sauna at the top or something.
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
I think it's from maybe a video game or something. I can't.
I think that's what they've done. They've kind of included little elements from the video game. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
You kind of get a little bit of everything, right? I mean,
that's the thing.
They sort of mixed the Return of the Jedi and New Hope, haven't they?
Yeah, basically.
Cool. Good. Yeah,
and a bit of Rogue One as well, because they've got Krennic and they've got.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I just noticed that. That's interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. Real quick, Chris Ellie says, I think it has a track on the back so you can mount it to the wall, which is kind of cool. That's cool.
I've just seen Luke and Leia on the going across the.
Yeah,
I didn't even start. You see, it's one of these you could probably look at for hours.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is a cool part about it. I swear to God, mounting this thing on the wall would give me a heart attack.
Oh God, imagine if you dropped that.
Oh my gosh! Not to mention anybody like you. That better be a damn good mount, and any sort of here. There's earthquakes. You one earthquake, that thing's gonna freaking fall apart. You'd have to really glue this thing together. I mean, geez, dude. I don't know.
I like it. If I had the space and the money, I'd get one of these.
Ian says, "Got to save those coins for the Regal releases." Which is
absolutely.
That's our problem. Yes, that is a problem.
Yeah, I'm just. It's great to see something like this, though, isn't it?
It's really cool.
It's I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really really cool. Let's move on. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay, yeah. So let's move on to the RS. RS came out with this. What's this called again, guys? This helmet?
It's the Death Squad Commander, if you want to go by the Kenner name.
Death Squad Commander.
Cheese grater.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out with this guy. Oh, I went the wrong way. So this was a cool release from them.
Yeah.
Kind of like out of nowhere
out
a little bit. Yeah, out of the blue. Which is cool. So we have RS has sold this before, haven't they?
No, they did I think it was a Death Star gunner.
Okay, so not this version.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. I feel like I've seen this before, but no.
Faraway Creations do a version which was from I think Solo. Could have been Rogue One. I'm not sure. But
Rogue One. I think.
Maybe Rogue One. So they've done a version.
But this is cool. Yeah. I mean, did any of you guys pick this up? Do you know?
I didn't because of the size. It's just massive.
Yeah.
It's just huge.
I wasn't prepared for it, and the space, like Tony, just don't have the space.
This, by the way, this is not if you're not a helmet collector and you haven't gotten some from RS, this is not the one to get, because you're gonna get this thing in and be like, this is just a hunk of plastic. Like it's just like a thin sheet of plastic on top of plastic. Like you're not gonna understand it. I think there's better ones to get if it's your first one. If you like this and you're into this, it is a fantastic helmet, like for reals. It's really cool looking.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Tony. It's just too big.
I was very tempted. I was as I am with all our RS helmets, but it's just where am I going? It is one of the bigger, probably the biggest helmets. Where it's it's wider than Vader, and it's a difficult one to display. But very very tempted. I've always thought it was really cool, cool lid, and it was. I said to Palm, actually, I said when Rob did the video and he was teasing it with a Kenner figure, I thought,
that's it.
Anything which shows a Kenner figure in, as I'm normally, my eyes light up. But,
right.
It looks great, and I think they were doing a really cool giveaway with the original headphones that match with the one guy that's I think he's in the control room.
Yeah.
and there's a set of headphones you can pair with that as well. And I think vintage ones, which are difficult to get. So
and that's what we showed at the beginning here. These headphones are the ones you can pair with this. I forget the name of the headphones.
Is it Prince?
Yeah,
I think.
Jason knows the name. I don't know. I don't know if Jason jumped off or if he's hanging around. But
I'm here. We're like in the middle of a storm and a tornado. I'm tornado watching, so my camera's not working.
No worries. Do you know the name of these headphones, Jay?
The line is the 909, or you mean the one specifically?
Yeah, like 909 VS or something like that. I can't remember.
Those are Prince sound headphones, but the 9 is like the 707 808s.
Yeah.
Shooting and cameras and stuff like that. Their site. So I was just snapping them up, and I was seeing people like even
Not
before
anymore.
people were exchanging them for like $150, $200, and I was like, and I didn't get it at first. I mean, I knew they were a found part, but I'm like, these are all over reverb for like $25, $30, and I couldn't understand why people were selling them for so much. And then I realized it's like, oh, they're either going to eBay or RPF to try to find them. But yeah.
I love the samurai look on.
Yeah, Rob looking
always
great,
have that.
Great in that helmet. I love it.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool helmet. I just again, like you said, it's just big. And Russell said the same thing. It looks amazing. I didn't have the space. Also, I got the AT-AT, which totally fills a Besta cabinet.
Well, that's big as well. Yeah,
it's very big. Yeah. No, I get it. It's a tough one. I mean, it wasn't too I don't think it was too expensive. It was pretty decently priced, I think. I can't.
Yeah, it was very affordable. I think it was 395 pounds.
Yeah,
right?
3.
Yeah, very good price.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of helmet there, so you factor that in, you're getting a lot for your dollar. Yeah.
I like the two-tone, with the cheese grater and the navy helmet behind it. So it's
I love the cheese grater. The cheese grater thing is awesome.
It just my mind goes straight back to the two guards walking down the detention block. I just love that scene, and it's just so cool. Yeah.
Killer piece, and
great release.
I don't believe you can pick this up anymore, right? It was a weekend thing or like a
limited run. Yeah.
Well, but I think it's always worth hitting RS up if just in case.
If you want one,
there's no harm in hitting them up just in case.
Probably not wrong. And that's honestly something to know for RS in general. If you want, an X-wing helmet of some kind, hit them up. Hit them up and see if you can get on the list, right? Like they do make some of that stuff pretty regularly. So. Let's move on to this. So people are getting the AT-AT, the RS AT-AT helmet in hand. We're seeing them in collections. We did Jason and I did an unboxing, which I guess could be a little controversial, depending on, how if you watched it using your brain or not. We tried very hard to be level-headed about it because I think, honestly, I freaking love that helmet. I think it's amazing.
Can I just give a precursor as well? I think the helmet's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, this is important for anybody who's watching. And you're right. I think it's smart, Matt, for you to have said, not facetiously, but if you used your brain, because we saw some comments where people just jumped to one thing or the other and exasperated something, and it's like, well, did you listen to the full sentence?
Right.
One, I 100% wasn't sure of certain things. Two, the things that I felt, I had one specific thing that I was kind of like, it's a bummer, but I couldn't quite tell. I couldn't quite see or tell, and I wasn't 100% accurate, and I made that known. But here's the bigger problem. That unboxing was us speaking on behalf of, what do we have, 11 messages in total?
Yeah. Pictures,
statements, quotes. I couldn't answer these questions. I didn't build the helmet. I didn't make the helmet. I know a little bit about it. I have, some decent images. I've studied it for quite a bit, but I still don't have all the answers, and I still don't know. And I couldn't answer all these questions as to what should have or should have been. And so I'd say 8 out of 10 things that were coming my way, I just didn't know. What was frustrating was I was getting bombarded with messages but everybody was posting with glee. This thing's so beautiful. This thing's so amazing. But
Yeah.
behind the scenes, I'm like, this thing's dog shit. It's all stripped up. This is broken off. That popped off. I'm missing this.
Yeah.
I'm missing that. What happened? What's this? And it's just like,
Well,
okay, slow down.
Yeah, and I'll say, Jason, I mean, we talked about this. I think the majority of the helmets came in and people liked them, I would say.
Yes, and that's why we even said, guys, listen, if it's something small like it popped off during shipping, just put a dab of glue on.
Yeah, just put it back on.
Don't write in. Don't bother them. Like that doesn't mean it's a bad product. However, we weren't about to mention people by name or tag people. So me and Matt, prior to, made the decision to say, well, let's just speak in first person on behalf of, and try to figure out if we can get some answers or get some feedback and see what people think and see how people feel. Because you know what? Some of these things might be 100% accurate and might be the way it's supposed to be. I think the bigger thing, and I'm glad Rob answered, like, for example, the tusks. I just genuinely 100% could not tell. I don't know if it was my vision, how, tight mine were tucked together, but I'm happy to be corrected. If that's correct and it was executed the right way, fantastic.
Yeah.
It was
nice to see Rob come out with a video and actually like answer some things. That was great.
Yeah, because it's helpful to us and it's helpful for the people that were asking that we couldn't answer.
Right.
The other issue, and this was exhausting for me, I got this even after RS released their video. So they mentioned the dimples. I had about 4 messages that was like, well, they mentioned the dimples, but why does this person hardly have any, and why are mine like, a 1/4 inch deep? Why can't I stick the knuckle in?
Inconsistencies.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know why you can dig a knuckle in yours and this person can barely feel theirs. And yes, some of it may have to do with lighting, but other it I think has to do with surfacing.
And I'll say this, Jason, and I mentioned this to Parm and Tony before we got on live, that, and I told you this too, Jason, that like, I think it makes such a big difference whether you got the weathered version, the weathered and chipped, the clean. I think it makes such a massive difference to you and how you perceive your helmet when you see some of those kind of different things and flaws, maybe as you might look at them. If you got a clean version, I get it. Like, it's kind of hard to look at some of that stuff, maybe. For me, I got the chipped and weathered version. It's fine. I don't care what.
I get that, Matt, but if something is supposed to be there, it doesn't matter if it's chipped, weathered, or clean. It's supposed to be there.
That. Yeah, I understand.
And that's the thing. Like, people need to realize, like, hey, you may not understand that this is part of the helmet. Like, I mentioned, like, that little nick near the mohawk. I'm like, hey, that was fun to notice that they actually snuck that in there, right? Mm-hmm. The part on the teeth, I was like, hey, that little raise next to the red patch, like, nobody's really going to notice that, but that's supposed to be there. Yeah. And people were mentioning this, and I'm like, clean or dirty, these things are supposed to be there. You're right. If there are things that aren't supposed to be there, and it's weathered, then it kind of fills in and falls in the guys with the weathering. Whereas if it's super clean and has, the look of an iPhone, really slick, the smallest fingerprint or, marking is going to stand out like a sore thumb. I get that. But it was just the inconsistencies that we couldn't explain to people. So I felt that it was looked at as if we were doing it directly and overanalyzing. And we probably should have at the very beginning said, hey, based on the amount of messages received, images, etc., we don't have the answers. So we're doing this to try to break down and understand the who, what, and why.
Yeah, ultimately, I think it, it is what it is. I think it's good that some things got out there like that, and it's good that RS answered some of those things, right? Like I think that's helpful. I like it when I want us to be able to be honest about things, but I also like it when the makers of these things actually answer and come out and try
that was the most helpful thing, right? Some people, I was getting some pretty disrespectful messages, and I thought, well, this isn't a bad thing. This is a good thing because we couldn't answer these questions.
Yeah.
And we may have been wrong on a number of things. I don't think a large number of things, but a few things we could have been incorrect. And if it led them to sort of make a video and, put those corrections out there, that's helpful not only to us, but everybody that was messaging. And one thing I did express to Rob, I was like, look, just so you're aware, I don't ask for people to message me. I'm not welcoming these messages. People just hit me up.
Yeah.
It might be people I talk to from time to time, people I talk to regularly, or some people I very rarely talk to. But it's just one of those things that happens. We do the podcast, we have the group, like people interact and engage. And I was genuine. I was honest with people. Some people I said, hey, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. And I did say, like, you don't want to bother RS with every little ism, because that's not fair, especially if it's something you can fix for yourself. And then for some of the smaller things, like a missing sticker or whatever, they've been very responsive. Simon had jumped on and said, hey, we'll send you out a couple, and, just pop it on yourself. It's super easy to do if you need any help, etc. So I think putting that video out and then allowing them to correct us isn't like it's a good thing.
Yeah,
because
it is a good thing.
Part of collecting is a learning process. It's a learning journey.
Yeah.
And the more we learn about the things that we're collecting, how it's supposed to be, why it's supposed to be that way, or why it was that way, it makes us appreciate what we have in our collections that much more.
And Kyle here says everything. Kyle Kaminsky, this is actually his helmet, by the way, that we're looking at.
Okay.
He says everything you guys brought up were valid talking points, to be honest. And I appreciate that. I mean, by the way, Kyle, this helmet looks fantastic. This is a really good looking helmet. I think, like I said, I think most of them came out great. I just think there's going to be issues, and as long as we talk about that and we're we understand that, that's fine. I think the issues are exacerbated a little bit by the price. It depends on the price of something, if you're willing to handle certain things, right? If it's not a big deal. I think the higher the price, the more you expect.
I'll be honest, Matt, I'll take accountability for that. That was more in my opinion, but it was also for those who haven't watched previous podcasts of ours. A conversation had come up recently about, I think we were talking about EFX. Mm-hmm. We weren't talking about RS specifically. We were talking about EFX and the choice of materials being used and the price, right? The correlation. And it's like, as long as it looks like what it's supposed to look like on screen. And I'm for that. I am for that. If you're spending $100 to, if you buy a Black Series helmet, a Death Trooper at Target for $100, and it's not, if it's 3% bigger or some of the details are a little inaccurate, you know what? It looks the part. You paid $100 for it. But when you're spending $1,000, it can't just look the part. It has to be as close to as possible. And this isn't applied to RS. This is applied to EFX or whomever. If you're spending $2,500 on a Vader reveal, I don't know if that's the price. This is just theoretics. But if you spend $2,000-$3,000 on a Vader reveal and only 20% of it is premium parts and the rest is 3D printed and cast stuff, it's like, all right, guys, if you're going to ask for our money and you want us to sort of support and invest, you got to meet us. You're going to meet us in that middle and allow it to be what it is.
Let me see real quick if I can find mine and see the difference here real quick. Because I really like the difference of all these helmets. Here's mine, and
I think the issue here as well is just the different photography. I mean, mine looked. I've got to say off the bat, I said to you before I went on live, I think mine's. I'm absolutely delighted with mine.
Yeah.
With bumps, ripples, I love it. It's exactly what I wanted from the helmet. For me, they delivered, over delivered, and I'm really pleased with it. And I'm also pleased that with the video as well, because that you guys did. You did it with a Boba Fett helmet a couple of years ago as well.
Yeah.
You went through that in really fine detail. I think that this helmet is particularly difficult to photograph. I took mine out in natural light, had a look at it, saw some things that I hadn't noticed when I took pictures of it before, which is absolutely that's what I would expect. There's not many pictures of this helmet either, because it's not been in the archives. So, to see
that's
really
the hard part is we don't know everything about it.
And RS have had been, had hands up, several visits to see the real, thing. I'm not saying that counteracts, if people have got particular issues with it. They're handmade.
I know. That's the
handmade.
Thing. There's going to be some flaws here and there, and that's fine. And as long as I think RS, deal with some of that stuff for people when they need to, that's great. It's not a big deal. I love some of the differences between some of these helmets that I've seen. Like my helmet has a lot of overspray on the lenses, If you can see that, which I actually love that. I think it looks awesome.
Well, I'm a fan of that, and that's actually how it looks.
I
That's
know.
how
it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, you can see it better right here. I'm a big fan of that. I loved the whole chipped weathered version of this. I think it just looks freaking great. And I think they really did a killer job. We both said, Jason and I both said that the gray that they used is freaking beautiful. Like, it's hard to take pictures of. Yeah. It is absolutely gorgeous on this helmet. Like, it is so pretty.
That's why
I think I said to you,
in these cases, the helmet was painted white by some prop makers, right? Because that's how it appeared on screen.
How it looks.
By almost everybody. Yeah.
When we spoke a couple of weeks ago, and I think I just had the helmet, I remember saying that's the first thing that struck me taking it out of the packaging, just how beautiful the paint finish was.
So
and it's that and none of the, and I know, Matt, you've got the camera gear to take it, and that still looks whitish. It's really a darker gray.
But it is very good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I would have had to. I looked at like how much I would have had to adjust things to make the gray come out, and it's just like, it's crazy because that's exactly a good example of what happened on screen, where it's like, it wasn't. It was a gray color, but it didn't matter. Like, they put the lights on the thing, and it just kind of goes away, right? It's freaking crazy, dude. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous, especially to your eye when you have that thing on the shelf. It's just
stunning.
It is stunning. It is.
I find it interesting that a lot of people completely missed. Like, when I took the real Greeblies and the cast Greeblies, I'm like, look, if I dropped these on the table and walked away, they were cast so well, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference of which one was the real one and which one was the fake. Some of the other elements that they got down were so accurate and so well done.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like the nuanced detail, you're never going to find that level of accuracy anywhere else. This is going to be the best offering of an AT-AT. Even if somebody learns from this helmet and says, oh, that's how it's done. Even on the inside, even the way the mohawk and the two sides were mended together, the tusks with that, 45-degree angle cut, like all of that. Like, there might be people who say, hey, we never knew this before. Right. Now we can sort of improve on ours. You're still not going to get it as close as RS has gotten.
One of the bits, the details I love on it, and it's just a natural of the way they've done it as per the original, is the spray on the rubber seal underneath the helmet where it cracks.
Yeah.
With the grey paint. Little things like that.
Yes.
Just love it. Absolutely.
Even the squares up top, and I had said to people sent me pictures and like, look, you're painting over rubber. It's going to crack, it's going to split, it's not going to take. But that adds the character and that adds the detail of originality. You almost want that. If they coated that or sealed that in a way where it never flaked or cracked, then that would be disingenuous.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be accurate.
And Kyle, and Jason, Kyle Kaminsky brings up another point. He said Rob brought a valid point, which I think Jason also mentioned, that the cog placement is different on the AT-AT than the TIE Pilot. So it made the dimples a little bit more visible to the naked eye, which is interesting. Russell Chow go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say, because I've got an RS tie as well. Rob's right. I had a look at that earlier, and it's basically the same on my tie helmet, but it's probably a bit more difficult to see because it's a black helmet,
Russell Chow says, for me, the Kenner AT-AT driver figure photo on the card back looked white. This was the main photo for years back in the 80s, 90s. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think
it was.
They got it wrong for a long time, right?
Well, to be honest, until Jez Hills start, we saw pictures of that helmet.
Yeah,
I don't recall any other pictures outside of the promo shots of that actor being photographed. Right. I don't remember seeing any other close-up images of that helmet. So,
and then even if you have some of the old magazines and things like that from the 70s and 80s that they came, there were so many that came out in abundance. A lot of them had black and white pages and images. So it's going to look white in all of those as well. And even when you're watching the film, because of the camera, because of the snow scene, you can't differentiate. It looks white. That's why we saw so many custom makers and so many license makers over the years even action figures, they come out looking white when they're technically not white. So I think they did a beautiful job. I think it was good that questions got answered. I think it was a bit frustrating that people thought, we were sort of overanalyzing this, and it was coming from a first person perspective as us sort of breaking this down in a way that, was, what's the word I'm looking for? It somewhat like in a way of like attacking the quality. But I think having that follow-up video made, it answered not only a lot of questions, but probably put a lot of people's concerns at ease.
Yeah.
And let them know that, like, hey, this is exactly what it should be, and this is how it should be.
Yeah.
And again, that's a great thing.
One of the things that I mentioned to Matt is very likely that for a few collectors out there, this is their first RS helmet. So they may not be used to some of the nuances that we're used to with RS helmets. And, given they're handmade, given they're made in the same fashion that the props were made back in the 70s and 80s when they were producing these movies. So that, there may be some feedback based on people's perceptions of what they expect to receive. So, like Tiny, I'm over the moon with mine. I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
I noticed a couple of dimples on mine. One of the hoses had popped out during shipping, but it was very easy just to pop that back in. So
easy fixes.
Yeah, super easy. Some of these fixes. Yeah, that's what I did on mine. I just fixed mine.
And just one other thing as well. Just on the when I saw the AT-AT helmet as a kid, we're all drooling over the greeblies are the real attraction from a distance. But when I opened the RS helmet, I was expecting to drool all over the greeblies. It wasn't. It was that grey paint finish. I was so taken. It really has made. It's really made it for me. It's just. I think people are, and I think you guys mentioned it. I think they've really. It was an event opening this as well, because they really did. I thought they did a great job with the packaging. I think it's a difficult helmet to ship.
The packaging was great, I thought.
Yeah, art card changed up, the COA beautifully done.
I think we mentioned this, Tony, on the unboxing, that if you get one of these, you just have to be careful because you might completely cut the art card. Because the art card is very close to the top, so you have to be careful.
And it's also packed in such a way that if anything does pop off, you're not losing it.
Right.
It's not something you can't find.
It's in the bag.
Yeah.
It's right there, Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
There is just so much stuff attached to this helmet. I think they've tried to do everything they can to make sure they get to people safely. I mean, obviously the original helmet was not designed. It was all hot glued on, a lot of it. So they've, it's but like you said, anything that does pop off can be easily
and all this is really important. These unboxings, all the stuff we talk about is for education stuff, for people that don't know any better, right? Like, I think it's good. I think Russell says, when I got my first RS Stormtrooper helmet back in 2020, I wasn't 100% sure on all the little imperfections. Now I absolutely love them. It's what makes RS helmets so special.
You grow to love and appreciate them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, but that's also something that all of us have to learn over time, and we have to continue to talk about, because some people don't get it. Some people don't it is their first helmet, like Parma's saying, and they aren't gonna fully understand, right? So it's
I think there's always a perception between weight and quality, and these helmets are very lightweight.
They're very
but that does not mean they're not quite. That's just how they were made
100%.
back in the 70s and 80s.
100%.
It's
Kyle says
that was quite funny.
Kyle says it was kind of funny hearing Rob admit he's the one that took the red dots off of the helmets. They were missing them after Simon took the fall. That's funny. I think is that the dot that was on the top, like up here?
Yeah, above the grey one, above the grey square.
Right
that there.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. No, it's great. I'm glad they did that video. I'm glad everything worked out. Yeah, it's good. I mean, real quick, Dylan's on here. He's saying, I'm late. Have you guys talked about EFX splitting up the SKU number for a clean version of the McQuarrie Trooper? I have no idea what this is.
I can give you a breakdown on it.
Okay. I mean, do you want to talk about it now? I don't know what that. I have no idea what that is.
You can talk about it now.
Let's go. Let's hold on. Let's go to this because I don't have anything for that. So I'll just go to this. So yeah, to give me an idea what this is, Jason.
So they finally, which we thought would never happen, but after all these years, released the McQuarrie Stormtrooper. It was done, I think, about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Sort of in tandem or just right after the McQuarrie Vader. And it got, showcased at Celebration and Comic-Con many a times. And it never got released. Ralph passed. The signature plates were never finished. The helmet was done, but that was it. We never saw it. Now EFX has been back in play. They've been on their A game, and they're following through on products and deliveries. So they decided to release the helmet. Well, what they decided, I'm not sure why, but talking with Jay Kishwara, who sculpted the original McQuarrie Vader and Stormtrooper, we were discussing it, and they decided that adding a little bit of subtle weathering would bring out some of the detail that would otherwise be hard to see. And it wasn't to take it and give it that sort of lived-in world, in-world Star Wars look or aesthetic. It was genuinely done to give a little bit more pronunciation to the details. So the first one, I think, a combination of both lighting and photography, and with the first one just being a prototype, the weathering looked very heavy. Some people actually took to it.
Do you think, Jason? Do you think it actually was heavy-handed?
Again, it's always hard to tell with photography. You never know, right?
I saw it in person at the at San Diego Comic-Con. It looked a little bit heavy to me.
Okay, it could have been. I didn't see it in person, but
I thought it was supposed to be that way, so I didn't know.
No, it's everything McQuarrie did at the time was just George giving him what was in his mind's eye, and then him jotting it down. So everything at that time had been very clean and slick looking. It hadn't had that in-world look yet. So it was an addition of 400 pieces. Well, two things. It was interesting to see how many people actually responded positively to the weathering and actually took to it and liked it. But then there were people who, after all these years, were like, wow, they're actually releasing this, and now it's weathered. Like, this isn't McQuarrie. McQuarrie is, church and state from what we see on screen to conceptualization. Yeah. And they sort of backed off.
The Vader was clean as well, right? So people who wanted to...
Yeah, I mean, the Vader is as slick as they come.
Yeah.
So now here's where it gets confusing. EFX being, really, really good lately with, just customer engagement, hearing people out, being proactive with the community. They heard what people said, and they sent an email out and said, I think it was, you had until like August 31st or some date in August. You had up until August such and such to respond and let them know if you wanted a weathered or clean version.
Right.
So that kind of put everything to rest. Like, hey, this is great. We can now, whoever ordered the helmet, we can now get it clean. Okay, so that was said and done. They then released an additional 200 helmets, just clean, just as it was showcased and teased for the last decade. So as you see it now, the picture we have up on screen is basically what you're buying in an addition of 200. Now, there's nothing different about it other than this is what was originally presented. I think the lenses were a little bit more like chrome or refractive in the original. So, there's a few other details that it might have been minute, but yeah.
So, Jason, are people pissed that they ordered the weathered and they actually wanted the clean, but they didn't know they could get the clean?
No, because that's the thing. The additional 400, an email went out that if you wanted the clean, you just had to respond and say, I wanted a clean one.
Okay.
So you weren't losing out. You got to get a clean one if you wanted. Okay. But they did an additional 200 just clean.
I got you.
Which is kind of weird, right? Because if you
I think the reason they might have done that, Jason, is because people were saying, if I'd known that... Because what happened was these helmets had sold out prior to this 200 being announced, right? I think there were people that were saying, if I'd known that they were going to do a clean version, I would have ordered it.
I would have jumped on
it. Because it was weathered. So I think EFX might be playing to that and saying, okay, because folks didn't know that we were going to do give an option for a clean version, and they decided not to go for it, we're going to give them the option now.
Yes.
So that might be the reason. I'm guessing.
I think no, and that makes perfect sense, is to make sure that you cater to those who are looking forward to this, those who want to pair with their Vader, those who just like it outright and expect it to be clean. But usually what we see in situations like this is we see all the whining and crying and moaning that it should have been limited to this much and that much. But I haven't seen much people snap back with the additional 200 pieces. If anything, I've seen more people happy than anything. now that they get to order it clean without having to, like you said, had missed out.
I absolutely love seeing effects back in the game. Like,
some people still won't give them that. People still won't give them their flowers or give them a break. But
I think it's great, man. I think the more of this kind of stuff, the better. I love that they're back in it and they're starting to get things out. I think it's awesome.
Look, it's not like they're delivering on half and fumbling on the other. Sure. Like, you got to give them a break, because in the last year and a half, 2 years, every single product, with the exception of the Mark Kimmel signature plates, I think Mark signed half. They have to get the other half out there. But with the exception of that, every product that they've released since they've sort of reinvigorated EFX has gone from pre-order to your doorstep in less than a year. The only complaint I hear, and it's a very, very valid one, is they'll announce something on, let's say, Tuesday night, and it goes up for pre-order.
You don't get long.
Yeah,
you don't get long. You don't get long.
Yeah, so there's no time to process, like, you get caught in that FOMO, because your down payments are pretty high. If it's $1,000, $1,500 item, you're talking $400 or $500 down. Your down payment's pretty high. You don't have time to process, and 9 out of 10 items, not all, but 9 out of 10 items are pretty desirable with EFX, especially if it's got a signature attached to it. So you get a lot of competition too. So you might end up buying out of fear or out of fear of missing out, out of FOMO, and not realizing, like, did I really want this piece? Did I really need this piece? So I think if they announced something and said, hey, this goes up for pre-order next month, like we knew the Vader reveal was coming, but at least, I don't know if they stated it publicly, but at least to a select few, it was talked about and mentioned that, okay, this is probably going to go up for pre-order between September and October. So now you have the time to decide, but we still haven't seen full images, details, or pricing either. So that kind of puts you in that thing where they get announced Monday, not this Monday, but just on a Monday afternoon what the price and details are. And then you have until, and then Wednesday goes up for pre-order. So it puts you in this weird psychological place of, like, you feel pressured.
And I think they probably want that. I think that's probably why they do it, because why otherwise? Why would you do that? I think they do prey on the FOMO, unfortunately, and that's a shame. It's nice to give people a bit of time to kind of contemplate and think whether they can add it to the collection, whether they can afford it, whether they can plan for it, whatever it is, because these things aren't cheap, right? But I think these companies, unfortunately, do prey a little bit on collector FOMO, because it's just natural.
Well, yeah,
it's smart business. It's a smart business tactic.
It is smart. Yeah, you could, if you want to look at it like that, I guess.
It's tough on the collector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Dylan says the FX told me they were gonna do 200 more when I emailed them, saying I would have bought the product if I had known they were going to let us request a clean version.
And I've heard that from a few other people, that if they had known that there was going to be a clean version, they would have ordered it on the outset.
Yeah, right.
But it had sold out by the time that they were offering the clean version to those that had ordered the weathered version, so they were a little bit annoyed.
Yeah, I can see.
So I think that's why they've done it. I think that's why they've kind of released this additional, which is good. I do like that a company's actually listening to consumers and
that's cool. I love it.
That's a positive thing.
I love seeing EFX come out with more things. So that's great.
You're not seeing a lot of companies that are being proficient like that. This isn't necessarily a jab, but I watched Star Wars Theory recently, and he was like, out of all the licensed companies out there, I'm the only company that responds to people and listens to what they ask for and listens to what they say. And I'm like, are you not in the community? Like, you got Real Robot, you got EFX, you got RS. Like, these people are accessible. You can speak to them directly.
Yeah.
You respond to people. Like, you're not the cheese who stands alone. These companies are making it, their priority to make sure that, hey, we now realize, like, we're competing for your dollar. It's a high yield dollar, right? A lot of money. We're not asking for $50 or $100. We're asking for hundreds, if not thousands at times. So, like, we got to be more proactive, and they're doing that. And I just, look, there's been things in the past that we could pick apart or talk about, but I think at the end of the day, people just need to allow some of these companies to sort of come back and do what they need to do to put things out. And,
I mean, I agree with that. I agree with everything you've said. I think the acid test for me will be when they release their first model. Will probably be the ATST, I guess. I mean, I'll be interested, because a lot of people are waiting for them to release ships again, and I think the helmets and sabers are probably, I'd be really, really interested to see when that ATST releases.
Yeah,
you know, if that goes well,
it looked really nice in person.
If that goes
really
well,
nice.
I think, you know, the fire hose might, well, not fire hose have come out, but, you know, I think people's confidence would be, you know, I think a lot of people are waiting for that to, you know, to come out because they're concerned it's going to be like 5-6 years. But based on what they've been releasing so far, it certainly doesn't look like that. They seem to have turned it around, which is fantastic.
Yeah, they knocked out that little snowspeeder model pretty quickly, and that looked pretty decent. So yeah, fingers crossed. I think that'll turn out pretty good.
Yeah, let's move on to this next. I think the next thing is actually me talking about this. So the Merlin models ATST. First of all, I want to say that, you know, Merlin models actually absolutely destroyed this thing. It's amazing. The kit was incredible. I couldn't believe how easy it was to, like, the way they package everything, put it all out, like you put it all out, all the pieces out. It's very overwhelming, I will admit, when you get all these pieces out and you're like, oh shit, what have I got myself into? But the video was pretty damn clear for the most part, following the instructions. Jason helped me out a lot. And, you know, getting the right, like, things, glues and things was kind of a thing that Jason helped me do ahead of time, which is really helpful. And then just, screwing everything in, gluing things on. It was fascinating. I told Jason that the thing that helped, that I think I appreciated, like, why this here feels right? You know, they could have done something different. It would have felt right probably as well. But that said, the armature, I mean, look, Merlin models did a fantastic job with the armature as well. It just works really, really well, and it feels like the way you.
I think that's what elevates this kit from everything else.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah, having that stop motion armature is just next level. I think that's something that back in the day people would have had to get a machinist to do at a much more costly, you know. To a much higher cost than what Merlin are offering this at, I think.
Yep.
A machined armature isn't cheap.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the armature in here with the metal parts. You can see the pole going up the back. Like, it's just so impressive. You know, I can't get enough of how, like, just how impressive it was to put this thing together and actually appreciate what it is afterwards. I mean, all these metal pieces are actually metal, and I love keeping it raw for that reason. I don't plan on painting it because I suck. I would probably suck at painting, honestly, and I don't want to ruin it.
But like you said, it's good. It's good. It's grey though, isn't it? It's great. It looks. I can see it behind you there, and it just looks like a finished ATST.
It's freaking great, and honestly. If you saw it with if you saw it with the naked eye, if you actually were looking at this thing, you could tell that it's not the right gray, right? It's kind of like this, like, bluish gray almost, and so, like, it doesn't feel completely right, but it doesn't bother me. Like, it especially with the armature, it feels perfect. It feels just like perfect, and all these, like, metal tubes and springs and all this stuff inside here, dude. They just did such a killer job, and I just really wanted to give them props for this because. You know, I think sometimes Merlin gets a bit of a bad rap in terms of, you know, some like some of the projects they have that are still needing to get to people. But overall, like, I mean,
but Matt, I'm not amazing. I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but after having this in hand and after having gone through it, you can see the amount of detail and engineering, and this isn't something that's being rendered, sent off to a factory, and shipped back in 6 months as a, you know. Well, I mean, this is, you know.
And I watched the tested video with Adam Savage and, you know, putting this thing together before I even thought about getting this, and then even after I built this, I watched it again, and it gives you, if you should watch that video because it gives you an appreciation for someone that knows a lot about that stuff. Looking at the Merlin model kit and just being amazed at the engineering behind it, at what they did. Like, it really is an incredible kit. And if you haven't done a Merlin models kit yet, I would encourage you to maybe try it. It's just very, very cool. It's a fun experience. I'm really thinking about the ESB version now, like I said. I just think. I think it'll look great next to this thing. To be completely honest,
you're gonna have shelves full of models.
I know, right? Matt. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of the Return of the Jedi version, which is why I was for sure wanting to get this one. The ESB one, I'm not a huge fan of. I just think it looks kind of weird. That said, I still think it would look really good next to this one. So I'm thinking about picking that up. And you know, I'm sold on some of these pieces. Like I said, studio scale models, I just can't fit studio scale stuff, and you know, I don't have endless.
These are a good size though. The ATSTs are a great size if you don't have a lot of space.
They're great. They're great size. They're not overly like tall. They're not wide. They're just kind of a perfect size, and they're also big enough to feel like it's a good presence in your collection, right? It's really nice. I just strongly encourage anybody to look at these because they're really, really impressive. Really are. It gave me a lot of just more respect. I already had respect for the ILM people and all that stuff, but it gave me even more respect for what they did for these movies. It's very impressive. And I think the ESB version, even I was talking with Jason, that one even has it's like a camera side for that.
Yes. Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, because they only put all the shit on one side because they were showing it going one direction or whatever, right? So, really cool.
Well, there's a real elegance to that ESB walker. I love the Return of the Jedi ATST as well, Matt. It's one of my favorites, but the ESB one has a real elegance about it. It's a really nice piece. Really, I think you'd be super impressed with that one as well.
Yeah.
And there's an evolution to them. As Matt was building the Return of the Jedi one, there's a few things that I wasn't quite familiar with. I mean, we knew why Bill did it the way he did because during ESB, everything was popping off and breaking, and you know they were getting just super frustrated. And then for ROTJ, for Jedi, they said, okay, we got to make it so everything is sort of we can pose this thing and work it without everything breaking, popping off every moment or two. So Bill George was tasked with, sort of taking the pieces and mounting them directly to the armature, right? But also casting them in multiple parts. So like instead of having one small part here or one small part there, 3 or 4 parts were cast as one single part and then mounted onto the armature. So you'll see that transition from the ESB model to the Return of the Jedi model. If you have them next to each other, you'll get that little bit of that evolutionary change.
Right. Yeah.
One thing that you need, Matt, now is a Phil Tippett plaque, I think.
I'm sure I can find one somewhere. Holy shit.
No, he's getting hard to come by.
Just you made a good point, actually, Matt. Just about the the way they sort of designed some of these vehicles and stuff, and the kit bashing side of it was, I think, when people look at this, there is. So you look at that walker there, because obviously it's been, but some of these parts come off, I don't know, tank parts or Formula One vehicles or whatever. That's what grounds these vehicles in a like a reality for me, and. I think there is some thought. I mean, I remember seeing, I'm not on this particular piece, I don't know much about it, but like the Falcon, I remember like Lorne Peterson doing an interview saying, we're not just going to chuck bits on here. These pipes have to go somewhere and they have to do something. Right. So it's got to look like it all works. And can you imagine doing that and then being under, you've got 10 minutes, and there's and these things have just sort of, because the films have lasted so long, they've become so iconic.
And it just adds so much value to those scenes. These things just they're so, like you said, they are so iconic. And that's why part of me wants to get both of them into my collection because of that reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it's very tempting. I just really I've never been a big studio scale fan in the sense of the community and stuff. I just don't like the Secret Scroll side of it. I just don't. There's some things I don't like, and so it's not like I'm jumping in head first and going, I'm gonna get all these. No, I did find a good appreciation for this, and I can understand why doing something like this is even better than even getting. I mean, honestly, I think this thing's probably, in my opinion, probably better than the EFX version. I just think it is because of the armature in general. Like the armature is so special in this thing. And I just think that I think the EFX one looks great, by the way. I saw it in person. It's incredible. And it's already finished and painted, which is very nice. But there's something about this that I just really,
And you built it yourself.
And I built it. And I built it. Which I think the appreciation I got as I built it for the different pieces that are on this thing that I would have never guessed, right? Like, that I think is special and something different versus getting something and just putting it on my shelf where I wouldn't know what went into this thing. So I think that was really valuable and nice, but I'm still not opposed to just getting something and putting it on my shelf. I'm still kind of a fan of that, but for these, I really do like that. And the detail of the castings, all of the like intricate detail was incredible. Like, I just think they did such an absolutely amazing job.
Well, it's super sharp, isn't it? Your pictures, you can see the detail,
And amazingly, like, everything went together. Like the only thing we had to stop for was these stupid ass things. Like these like, where is it? These like the snap rings. Like, I didn't have anything to do the snap rings. And I was like, what the hell? Like, effing snap rings? Like, I don't know what a snap ring is. Like, what am I doing with this thing? And I had to order this on Amazon for the next morning just so we could keep going. And but that's the only like thing we had issues with. I look, opening all these bags, I was like, there's no way that I'm not going to have a problem with something. Something in this build is not going to go right. And I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, he was pretty you were pretty defeated initially with like a little frustration, and then I was like, you got this, like, let's just start, let's just go. And as we went along, you were kind of
unconvinced. Yeah, I was very unconvinced when I started, where I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if I can do this. And then as we went along, I started to see how easy it was to put the kit together, and how they didn't forget any screws, they didn't forget any pieces. Like, they gave a little extra screws. It's just
what people need to think about too, and I know this because I had the opportunity of working on a little bit of the project with some of the projects with Merlin, and what they have to do, which isn't realized, when you're making it as screen accurate as it is, right, with the stop motion armature, all the parts as they are seen on screen are done on screen, and everything's exacting, right, 1-to-1. They have to also go through the logistical mindset of how can we make this so it's buildable.
Yeah.
1, so it's not too easy, and 2, so it's not too challenging either. So the novice builder can do it, the amateur can do it, but also the model builder with experience can also have fun building this and have it make sense, right? So that's a whole nother, everybody thinks it's just gathering the IDs and the parts and, having the body machined. It's a whole nother layer of detail and thinking and planning and engineering to get it to be like, hey, this is a kit that now has to be assembled.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. It's wild. So yeah, I really like the fact that you went through this. You did it hands-on. You did it yourself, because I do think, like I mentioned earlier, in our conversations about a week or two ago, that you have a different appreciation for it now.
Yeah, 100%. I really do, and I just think it's really nice on the shelf. Very, very, very nice. And I really I think what they're doing, what Merlin models are doing, is fantastic. And it's very accessible. I think if I can do it, honestly, anybody can do it. If I can do it.
Yeah, literally.
I truly mean that. Like, I mean that at the bottom of my heart. I'm not a very handy person, and I like, there's at one point I had to, like, I was like, oh damn it, I have to drill something. Like, what the hell am I gonna I'm gonna drill something? Like, what am I gonna do here? And so, I've got a drill, but I don't drill. Like, I'm not a guy that uses that very much. And so, it was very doable, very, very doable. And I think if anybody, is a little bit, concerned about getting into it, I think you can do it. So if I can do it, so, Yeah, something to think about. But I really, really loved it. I had a great
time. That doesn't take away from, getting something that you can just take out of the box and put on your shelf either.
Sure.
So
no.
There's not, yeah.
And honestly, the EFX version that I saw that in person, it's beautiful. It really, really is. It's weathered. It's got the grass on the feet. It looks great, dude. People are gonna love that thing. It's got a really nice presence to it as well. Let's move on to so this is something Jason wanted to talk about. The Propstore auction. And look at this guy, dude. Holy shit. But like the big thing that was selling was the Darth Vader lightsaber, the stunt hilt.
Do we know who won it? Jason, do you know if David Mendel won this, or I know that he was interested in it because I was watching his stream that he does. I can't remember the name of the stream that they do, but it's always good fun to watch. But I think he was saying that he was quite interested, and if he'd known about this a few years ago, because he bought the X-wing, right? He bought the
X-wing, yeah.
X-wing. Yeah. So he said he probably would have gone for this rather than the X-wing. So that was kind of interesting.
This is a little bit.
It's actually interesting that this did go for more than the X-wing, right?
Yeah.
So it's more coveted.
What was the actual price? Final price?
I think with fees, it was about 3.2 million.
0.2, yeah, with the
crazy, dude. I saw a thing that they made in the first day of the whole prop store thing. They made, I think it was like $14 million or something like that. Because there were some pretty cool pieces that they were.
There's a few things. Okay, now this is normal for the. Okay, I mean this could be the auction aspect could be a whole show in and of itself. So we got to be careful here, because there's been some talks recently about an auction that's going to be in the next week, with some talk about is it actually what it's claiming to be, and I actually had a little bit of a hiccup. I don't want to name the auction house, sorry, but an auction house about a year ago, which I'm still sort of at arms with, which has been super frustrating, all because I addressed the question and the legitimacy of a piece because it was brought to my attention afterwards by people whom I trust. As you know, there's people in this community that know just as much, if not more, than some of these guys who are, going over these pieces. And it's never been easier in this day and age to contact the actual person who made the prop or worked on the prop. I mean, we're friends with some of these guys. We talk to some of these guys. Some of them are on the show. Some of them are in our groups. So it's not like, they're inaccessible and they can say, hey, I may have worked on that, but that's not screen used, or that wasn't for production, or whatever it may be. So the other thing I'm noticing, and this is not new, but we're starting to see a lot of pieces sort of recycle through quicker and quicker. First, it was like, oh, that piece once sold in 2016. Now it popped back up in 2022. Okay, the person owned it for half a decade. They want to move on to something different or new. That's fine. But now we're seeing pieces that were in an auction 9 months ago go back up in auction. So I think this creates a lot of buzz because this is this is a unique find in and of itself on so many different levels.
Nobody knew this existed outside of
nobody knew this existed. So this was blowing minds, and everybody was kind of going gangbusters over this. So to have a standout piece like this is in and of itself unique and interesting.
I'd heard somewhere that this existed in the archives at one point. So and then somehow it got into private hands, and it's not clear how.
Convenient.
Yeah.
How? By the way, real quick, how does the archive not buy pieces back like this?
Or they just have so much. I don't know if they.
I know, but
I thought that when it came to like.
This is not just anything. Though.
I know, man. I get it, but you have to think about this, okay? So I thought about that when one of Leia's original dresses popped up. I thought about that when the X-wing came up, but the X-wing also had some a little dark weathering above it based on the how and the when and the why it was acquired. But you're right. You think with pieces like this, but keep in mind, this was a $3 million piece. But dude, they put this together for like $8 back then.
Yeah,
they slapped this together with a couple of screws and an old flash from a camera shop that they bought a box of for $10. So you have to think of it from that perspective. How important is it to them, really? Now I think. This being a stunt tilt.
I'm talking about now, though, Jason. Like I'm talking about like even if they were to buy some, look, I know 3 million or whatever is expensive, but not to some people, not to not to Lucasfilm.
Yes and no. You have to look at the fact that it's a stunt hilt, right? It's not a hero hilt.
Right.
Now, it's important to the community and to collectors, but how important is that to the archives? For people
it's a good question.
Okay, take for people who aren't in the community, who aren't collectors, who aren't, someone like Roy who's going to deep dive this thing and reverse engineer every element of it. Your average Star Wars fan isn't going to know. They're going to be like, that's Darth Vader saber. It looks strange to me. So now, if this was like the hero hilt, I could see maybe them going after it to try to put it in the archives or in the Lucas Museum. Now, I was confused why the X-Wing was something that they wouldn't try to, acquire, because that has a different level of significance for the average, museum goer or movie watcher. But, something that's stunt or something that's used in a very, obscure way, I can see why it's sort of overlooked as, okay, it's not that important to us. It's a weird thing, because I once thought the same thing. Like, why wouldn't they want this? But you also have to keep in mind, look at the amount of things that are in the archives, and some of it's deteriorating significantly. A lot of it's going through restoration processes. A lot of it can't be restored.
Right,
I mean, it's tough. So, and then it's a matter of, where are they going to put their resources? I get to Lucasfilm, 3 million to drop in the bucket, but they're also a business and they have to spend wisely. That has to be managed. The books have to be managed appropriately. Because if they start buying back any and every
I hear you.
That pops up, forget about it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear that.
Then people will start selling all the stuff that they have, right? Knowing that Lucasfilm will be buying it, and they'll pay any price. So,
I just think some of the significant stuff would make its way back, but I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But that's why it's such an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
Because you can come at it.
This whole thing that Propstore puts together is freaking fascinating.
It is.
I mean, just the whole
I'd love the images. And the screen matching they've done.
Yeah, all the screen matching they have to do to kind of get.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work to do for one single piece in an auction.
And what's super interesting is the way that they screen match things, but even in screen matching, there's still some damage that has been done afterwards, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have to screen match, but it's not perfect in some ways.
It's almost like fingerprint elimination on a crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see which ones, the ones you need to look at, which ones you have to eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, dude.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, talk about significant though, man. My goodness.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, what was its use in Return of the Jedi? Was it a belt hanger in that, or was that a stunt saber? Was it used as a stunt saber in Jedi as well? Because it says
both.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think there was this version that was this is a New Hope the bladeless lightsaber hilt. And this is the dueling one. So,
but the reason why this was such a wow moment too was there's hilts that we learned about, those hilts that we've come across and later found that this used to be this hilt, and then they repurposed it to this hilt, and you're able to sort of track the lineage or provenance of those steps. But this is one of those things that I don't think people really realize existed. It's unique and it's a version of the ESB hilt, but with Jedi elements to it. So it's just such a Frankenstein of two prolific pieces that we're very familiar with. This is wild. I mean, the fact that just this popped up. I remember in the morning it was announced. The amount of messages I got was it was fun, actually. It was quite fun.
That's what I was going to ask you, Jay, was on this saber then, did they make changes to this saber just specifically for Return of the Jedi then? So there are elements, did they change it at all? They just said, here you go, just use this.
Well, so we know the ESB one is the ESB one, right? So they made a secondary to that, right? So now this is another, they got the what's called the wires coming out of the ports on the MPP. So we got that, but then we have the hex screws like you see in Jedi. The other thing that's really interesting is the little cut, that little notch. So, determining did that break off? But those things are so sturdy. I mean, that's some heavy duty material there. So like, it wouldn't have been such a clean break. So it looks like they may have cut it.
Purposely being done, yeah.
It looks like it was purposely done. So like that just starts going into all of that, you know, the who, the why, the what, the how, and all the curiosity, you know, the intrigue. But that's the fun stuff. This goes back to the AT-AT helmet video. It's all the fun stuff that goes into learning the why and the what and the how to the way these things were made, and then appreciating them because of that.
Yeah, they talk about that here. They say a small section of the hood has been cut away at a right angle. At a right angle, it was likely damaged during filming of a duel scene and was cut off.
They probably cleaned it up.
Yeah, as to not be hazardous.
Or to cut a hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but that just adds so much more uniqueness to it. I love it.
Yeah. The plastic grips are held on with a small screw that were believed to have been installed during filming on Empire after attempting to glue them on failed. Which makes sense.
Great detail, great bit of info. I love that sort of detail. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, calculator bubbles.
So the stream that David Mendel does is called "The Stuff Dreams Are Made Of," and they've done a deep dive on this in a couple of episodes with Brandon from Propstore.
Okay.
I haven't watched them yet. I've been meaning to watch them.
Look at that.
Yeah, they've done a deep dive on not just this lightsaber, but lightsabers in general from the original trilogy. So it's probably worth a watch. I think, like I said, I haven't had chance to watch those. I just watched the most recent episode where David was saying that he was gonna bid on it, but I'm not sure if he won it or not.
Well, I think there was also some other good stuff that was in this auction. I'm trying to think of where I could.
There's a few decent pieces. The thing I was shocked to see.
Well, Mark sold his TK, didn't he? Mark from CFO.
Yeah,
he sold
his helmet. That did really well.
That did really well.
Congratulations to Mark, because that sold at a great price.
For sure.
But to see like, you know, a master replica, you know, Falcon sell for $20,000, like I just
Really?
Yeah, this the life size. What was it? The C-3PO, the sideshow life size C-3PO sell for like $25,000. Like these are pieces. There's hundreds and hundreds of these things out there.
Yeah. That's strange. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the crew gift, right?
Yeah, that's the actual. That's the one that.
Yeah, that's the actual one. Yeah.
But again, this has been in and out of auction how many times now, guys? I mean, I know that
were there loads of these, or I mean, guessing there was quite
a few. There'd be quite a few, wouldn't there?
I did, yeah.
A bunch of them have passed through, but that one specifically has also passed through a few times. The Yoda hand has.
Okay.
Now, what's that, Matt? Go down to the thing that looks like a snow speeder. I don't have my glasses.
Yeah, that was.
I think that was the crew gift. This one.
No, the other one.
No, there was another one that looked a bit more.
Oh, let me see.
They used that they made a Hoth diorama.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Echo base diorama, and they used it in that. There's some.
Oh, that'll be a fun little build.
Yeah, there's some
really tiny one.
Really old behind the scenes shots where George is standing with I think it's with Brian Johnson.
So this says. A Rebel T-47 Snowspeeder Art Department reference model from Irving Kirshner's.
This was kind of like a maquette of a model, if you will.
Yeah. I think they used it as in a mock-up of Echo, because they built a full-size set for Echo Base.
Yeah.
So they were using it in a mock-up of that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with connected with Norman Reynolds, wasn't it?
It could have been Norman, because he did the set design for that. Yeah.
Was this the CFO?
This is Mark's.
This is Mark's. Yeah. This went pretty close to the I think the top end price.
Gosh, those helmets look so freaking weird, man. They really do.
Isn't that weird? Like the one thing I never got about Return of the Jedi is you would have thought it went in reverse. That Star Wars would have had the odd looking helmet, and by Return of the Jedi they would have looked more.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the mold broke down, didn't it? And they probably just said, just keep going.
Exactly.
just keep making them.
Making them. Just
well,
keep
you would
going.
expect them to look strange first, and then they revise as money and resources and everything gets better. But it kind of went the opposite.
They knew that people would be looking at the Ewoks and not.
I really do. This helmet design is really grown on me. I actually
Yeah,
really
I like it
I
because
really
it's
like
so
it.
kind of funky
I
looking.
would like to get one at some point for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
same.
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of cool. I think that so Mark met the guy that played the
yeah, and he signed it, didn't he? Yeah,
yeah, and he signed it in 2020. So yeah, it's kind of nice. But no, yeah, good night. Great payday for Mark. So yeah, congratulations.
That's awesome,
to him.
man. It's awesome.
Nice to know somebody who's done well at the auction. You know.
Yeah. How much did it go for?
Close to 300K, I think. I think it was 270 or something like that. I think, if I remember correctly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
Great piece. Yeah.
So is he still gonna make these then, or like?
Still got the mold.
Okay,
I guess he's still got the mold. Yeah. So why not? Yeah.
I hope so. That'd be cool. Yeah, I definitely want to get one at some point. Yeah, pretty amazing, man.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, the blaster from Return of the Jedi I saw come up. That was interesting.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Yoda's hands. Yeah, Yoda's hands in there.
Yeah, there was a Scout blaster that was in the auction. There was obviously the Rebel blaster. I'm trying to think what else was there from Star Wars. There was some nice. There's always some great Joe Johnston.
I mean, this is awesome, dude.
McQuarrie sketches.
Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool.
This is so cool, man. I mean, talk about all the C-3PO stuff you could put this with. Holy shit. So cool.
I love when they're all rusted and broken down like that. Some people are like, I don't like that. I like it like that.
Isn't Gus Lopez? He's putting together a C-3PO costume.
Yeah,
he's been buying bits from different auctions so that he can eventually. I suspect he's got the hands already, but I was just wondering whether
that's so cool.
Whether he picked it up, but.
Yeah, you're talking about this thing, right? This,
Look at did you see the ATST foot? I love that.
Yeah.
We saw the giant AT-AT snow stomper, snow print and foot, but I don't think we've seen this one before.
Yeah, that's really cool.
This one you're talking about this?
Yeah, that big chunky thing.
Yeah, that's the foot. Matt, you could put that right next to your model, brother.
Dude, how big is this thing?
It's from the life size.
Is it?
Life size, man.
Massive.
Look how accurate they got it to the model parts. Dude,
yeah.
The kits that these come off of, the M3 Lee and the other tanks,
crazy.
like they nailed it. The guys who worked in the machine and wood shop nailed these.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy, dude.
I may have gotten the kit wrong, but nonetheless, they still matched them.
I expect there's still bits of that around the redwoods somewhere. You want to get up there.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Look how massive that thing is. Jeez.
Oh, there was an amazing. I think it was the Prop Den on Instagram posted a video, dude, and it was just chunks of the life size, like 65 feet wide or long or something crazy, and 45. I don't know. It was just like massive, and parts of the Millennium Falcon was just tossed in like a junkyard somewhere, like off like one of the ports in London. And I was like, this is just, imagine stumbling across this and being like, hey, that's the Millennium Falcon.
I heard a story somewhere. The Endor bunker. I think the doors on that were I think a farmer or something picked them up when they filmed, finished, and I think I can't remember who bought them, but they drove up there and he was using them to hold his cattle in or something. It's like
it's like a chicken fence or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, amazing.
Because again, there was so much of this stuff.
Yeah, they would have just I wouldn't say left it, but just sort of trashed it, wouldn't they?
I think in Tanzania, some pieces were left behind. Some pieces were left behind in Yuma.
Oh yeah, some were fixed. They couldn't take them, could they? They just left them, didn't they? Yeah, I think. It's cool. Yeah, Scout Blaster.
This wasn't a bad price for what this was.
What was the price? I didn't see it. Is it?
I think it was under.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. I mean,
it is compared with a 20 grand MR Falcon. I mean, I can't believe somebody's
crazy.
paid
It's
that, isn't it? How can somebody spend and not be educated enough to sort of realize these are crazy, isn't it?
And you know what the worst part is when you see these people post like, "Oh, I get a signature Falcon signature." People are like, "Yeah, that goes to 25,000 all day. That's 17,000." I'm like, in what world? Like collector to collector? No, people amongst collectors, we don't pay that much to each other. Some do, but it doesn't happen often. And it just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather buy a non-signature Falcon and just pay for Harrison's signature, or just build a. You can get some of the finest model makers out there to build you a Falcon for that kind of money.
That's a cool piece. I like that.
That's cool.
Those are unique, yeah.
Yeah, there's always some fun stuff in these auctions, isn't there? That you just would never.
Well, that's
thought
why they said
in
these used to be their own shows because there's so much unique stuff in here.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people do just shows on these. So.
Yeah, I mean the amount of stuff though as you go through this, the amount of like memorabilia. I mean, look, the heart of the ocean, the freaking Titanic thing. Like there's so many things that they.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that you see from other movies is crazy.
It's freaking nuts,
particularly the Batman, props and stuff and vehicles that turn up for auction. You just think, imagine being a Batman collector. And I think they had some Indiana Jones stuff. I think they had some Sankara stones in this.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
It does amaze me the amount.
It
does amaze me the amount of Star Wars pieces that do just keep churning up in Propstore. And you think, you think the archives is packed. Well, not packed, but it is. I guess it's mainly Return of the Jedi, isn't it?
Yeah,
and models.
A lot of stuff did end up in private hands, particularly from the first movie, because
the R2 unit, the R2 unit that was up for auction, I think in 21, was back up for auction this year, but it went for
really?
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that R2 unit. Yeah, these are cool. I love that. I love the marine.
Yeah,
it's so
aliens?
cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
So cool,
yeah, that's cool.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, look at that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is
that on the cap? Is it or
freaking
I'd be worried. I'd be worried if that's the life-size queen.
Oh, this is cool. What is this? So this is a what's the size of this thing? That's cool.
I think hasn't John Simmons got a model of this? Didn't he do a model of this? Have we?
I was just going to say that. I can't quite recall if this exact one or
this is 57 inches by 66 inches. So yeah, it's not.
Wow. He probably didn't do it that big, but yeah.
No, he's definitely got. I'm sure he's got a model, a scaled model of that
in
his collection.
I think you're right.
That's big as well.
Yeah.
I just remember the paint job on it. It's really cool. Yeah, fantastic paint job on it.
Oh, look at these Back to the Future.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, jeez.
They're the Nike ones that came out recently, weren't they?
I mean,
the Barbarella stuff. It is Barbarella, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
That's very niche. That's cool.
I mean, come
on,
dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Some of the stuff that they get their hands on, man, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's crazy how this stuff ends up in private hands, right? Some of this, I mean, we kind of understand why some stuff from Star Wars did, but I just thought, studios were more protective of their IP, but something like this, how would this end up, in private hands?
Quarter scale Batmobile filming model.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. That's still got to be massive.
That's going to be huge. I mean, huge. The 161 that Jazz Inc. did, that's massive.
This one's 60 inches by 25.5 by 13.
Jesus.
It's a big boy. They got a lot of
cool.
Very cool. That's so cool.
Penguin.
That's great
stuff. I'm trying to find I'm trying to find the Star Wars. Jump to the Star Wars stuff. Here's this.
Yeah, a lot of Batman stuff. I think the Indies Whip. Yeah, that I saw that Indies Whip. Yeah.
The question is, can Regal make this? That's the question. Because that would be pretty sick.
Now that they've done the hat, I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
I just would wonder because
That's cool. Now, is that just one of the office? Is that just one of the extras' uniforms, or was that one? I guess that's just an extra one, isn't it?
Colonel Herman Dietrich or whatever.
Oh, okay, okay. It's one of the
tunic from Steven. Yeah.
Is that the guy who got his face melted?
Yeah, it's pretty sick, dude.
Oh, I love the models as well underneath.
Yeah, these ones.
They're cool. Yeah, I love this stuff.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. They're great.
Is it an actual model or is it?
Didn't they do some stop motion?
They did.
If it's the real thing, wow.
Good luck on shipping on that. Yeah.
Yeah. No shit.
Or is that the real full size ones?
It might be that. I'm just looking at the price. Actually, it might be the real.
Yeah, it might be.
I say it's a model.
Imagine somebody hand delivering that, pulling up to your house like.
Oh my god! Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man.
This is great. Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Freaking Sauron's helmet, dude. Holy shit. They have a shot of someone holding this too. It's freaking massive.
Yeah, that's gonna be big, isn't it?
Freaking what? So
it's interesting to start seeing Marvel stuff in these auctions.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fascinating that they sell these things like that.
How do they?
I don't.
They are now the premier. I would say they are the premier auction house, aren't
sure.
they? For film
I mean, I
props?
can understand. I can understand
these
these
Hakes
things.
And Julian's and what's the other one?
Yeah.
Heritage, Julian.
Yeah, Heritage.
I understand these things, like Propstore selling these things, because people are going to the place that they can sell them with. Like, I get that. It's just amazing to me that some of these studios just don't give a shit, and they're just like, I don't care who buys it. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. But also, I guess not every studio does the same thing that Lucas.
Well, if you listen to some interviews, there's been some interesting ones. I remember, I can't remember the interviewee. He's quite popular here in the States, but Adam Driver was on with him, and even Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck was talking about how he was trying to take a piece off set, and they actually realized he took it, and they called him up at home, and they gave him a really hard time, and he's like, I couldn't even play the whole, like, well, I'm Ben Affleck card. They were like, I don't give a shit. Like, return it. And the prop department, like, wanted their prop back. And then Adam talks about, I think, taking a hilt and something else, maybe one of the helmets. I don't know. But he's like, I got it in my closet. And they're like, did they give you a hard time? He's like, yeah, they gave me a really hard time. And he's like, he's like, well, I wanted to keep it as a keepsake for having done the film. And, I'm sure they would have made him one and gifted him one. But I think he took something that was, like, used on screen. And the prop department wasn't too fond of it.
Yeah.
So they know that there's a lot of money to be made in these. And of course, the actor isn't going to sell these things, but you never know if they're going to give it to a niece or a nephew or whatever. And then it ends up in the wrong hands and somebody starts customizing them, making runs. Like, that's how it all starts,
This is sick, dude. This little Rocketeer, the actual rocket pack, freaking sick, dude. Yeah, some of these are.
Joe Johnson did the Rocketeer, didn't he?
He did.
Yes. Yeah, he directed it, I think.
He directed that.
Ghostface mask.
The ghost. All I can think about, I know it's so silly because it's like 20 years old, but what's that? With the Ghostface mask.
Yeah. Look, this thing's crazy.
Stargate, right?
Stargate, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's wild. Look at that.
Yeah.
This is cool. Wrath of Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan model.
Wrath of Khan, yeah.
Cool,
Star Trek 1 was awful back then, but Wrath of Khan is what brought it back. The Bird of Prey, and Nilo did a lot of these ships.
These are really cool.
Yeah, I think Ken Ralston worked on that one, didn't he?
Well, yeah.
Quite a lot of them.
He did.
Yeah, pretty amazing, man. Here's where we start getting into.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one that's definitely seen the rounds quite a bit, but such a great stunt dueling hilt, like it's fantastic. I actually own one of these.
Crazy.
I own a replica of this, I should say, not own one of these, but I think it was initially acquired in auction just so they could reverse engineer it and make it.
Okay.
So they did this and they did Anakin's, and they are bang on. Like you can't tell the difference. It's insane. Cool.
And they come with a blade, do they?
Yeah, and they come with and they're wrapped. They come with the red and the green blades with the carbon wrap and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
And then Maul's hilt, they did the same thing. So, and then you realize when you select the EFX Maul hilt, the MR Maul hilt, you start to see like all the inaccuracies because, when you get in the real thing in hand, you get to like really match it down.
Yeah, right.
I think you got to remember, licensed prop makers, they have to idealize to some degree to make.
Yeah, and they're also being told to as well.
Yeah,
sometimes they come in with a product that's just as accurate, and they may be told, "Hey, dial this down for cost purposes, efficiency purposes, or or just to make it look more like, because not all props are as beautiful as you think they are. Some of them are really rough. So they might say, "Hey, this is a little rough looking. It's accurate, but it's rough looking. Clean it up and make it look better." Yeah,
for sure.
These are cool. The hands. Doesn't Tom Green own these?
Yeah, I was going to say. What's he selling them?
That's what I thought. I looked at this like, isn't this?
That was my thought as well. Whether these are Toms or whether these are,
They might be burritos instead of Greedos, like that sideshow figure.
Oh yeah.
A pair of Rodian hands from George Lucas Star Wars amongst the Rodians and Mos Eisley.
Look in good condition.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's that. There's always this kind of stuff. The conceptual art
I love the drawings.
Yeah,
cool. The hand drawn stuff I love as well. Just so expensive. So nice to see.
I actually own 2 originals, but believe it or not, I bought them before the pandemic. I bought them in auction, and they were, when I say reasonably priced, I'm talking the cost of like a regular collectible.
Yeah.
No, now they go for 5-10 times that amount.
Yeah, stuff has ballooned in the last 6 or 7 years.
Production used 5th draft screenplay. That's kind of cool. I think this stuff's really cool looking. The ad.
Those are
cool.
They're
great.
Even that concept drawing, how much did that go for? I can't see.
This one?
Okay. The Snowspeeder one?
Oh. Estimated was 2 to 4,000.
Yeah, but I think didn't that go for like 18 or 20 and went for some crazy amount?
I don't know.
Did it really?
I think it went for like 3 or 4 times the reserve. Amazing. Don't quote me on that. I remember some of them. It was actually it was Christian Crawford that called me up. He was watching it live as these auctions were finishing off. I was like, "Did you see the price of this and that?" I was like, "I wasn't. I was resting." But
look
he's
at Yoda's disgusting hand, bro. Freaking disgusting.
Is that a photo? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Is that a
foam latex?
Left
is that
hand.
Latex?
I would imagine.
It looks like that looks delicate.
I wonder if Tom
and gross.
Yeah, you'd think if that was latex, Tom, would have to fix that up.
If the statement, I don't know where that hand's been, has ever been truer.
Oh my gosh. He's got syphilis, hepatitis. He's got all kinds of shit going on, man.
Tom must do really well every time these auctions come up, because there must be people who are calling him to restore stuff.
You would think so.
Yeah, he must do really well.
Here's that helmet again.
That's the helmet, yeah.
We looked at some of this stuff. It's really sick, dude. This is.
You see Death Star tiles, don't you?
Set of 22 ILM screening room chairs.
Yeah, that's kind of funky, isn't it?
With center console.
Well, that's probably where they watch the dailies and stuff.
Yeah. Freaking sick.
George probably sat in one of those seats at some point.
So sick. Yeah, well, it shows him there. It shows him in one of them.
Gas in one of those seats. Imagine.
Amazing.
There's your MR Falcon, isn't it? Yeah.
There's the life size.
Dude,
that's all
sideshow pieces. Yeah.
Those are all. These are all mass-produced pieces. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So look, even the Han and Carbonite. You could buy this up to. I think it's still available.
You get it now, can't you?
And the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They sold for a bit.
And so you're saying that the MR Falcon went for how much?
20,000.
18 or 20 grand or something.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, 3PO sold for like 25K.
Shameful. Yeah, that's crazy.
I've always said the rich and the mentally unstable is not a good combination.
Oh my gosh.
But know what the problem is? This is an auction, okay? These pieces are readily available. They're not that difficult to get. And your average collector who doesn't know better is going to be like, "Well, the last Propstore auction it sold for $30,000."
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
it doesn't mean that it's worth $30,000.
Yeah. Dude, this thing's cool looking, man.
I love this.
This is the one I bid on when we remember I was going after the Stormtrooper helmet.
Yeah,
the one I put the bid on.
So cool looking, dude.
Yeah, I love the weathering on this.
It's crazy how little it went for just 4 years ago.
What was it? How much?
I think it ended at like in the 50s, maybe. Now this time was close to 100,000.
It's crazy, dude.
But this just has a nice, cool, like 80s vibe to it. I don't know, something about the colors on this are just great.
Yeah,
it's cool, dude. It's
I think outside of R2, I think this is one of the better droids.
Definitely one of the cooler colored droids. Yeah.
Yeah, is this Poe Dameron's suit or no? Just a
pilot
suit.
No, it's just a regular.
Yeah, that's cool.
But to get a complete costume, I know it's one of the newer films, but
here. I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
Well, there's another one in there, prop shop.
Yeah, now we're looking at prop shop stuff, and this stuff went for crazy amounts too.
Yeah, prop shop stuff goes for a lot.
A bit more limited. I guess it's a bit more limited, but I mean, even still, you've got to.
I don't know if a lot of people realize prop shop shut down because they had so many QC issues. They were shut down for that very reason. They weren't making, they weren't reaching the level of quality as well as the demand that they should have been for so-called it's being handmade by prop makers. And there were so many pieces being returned, so many pieces having issues. And then it was like, hey, strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out. I'm sure there was other contributing factors that I personally don't know about and the public doesn't know about, etc. But that was one of the factors. So like people think like, oh, this is a prop shop. It's much more. No, it's much. I mean, I don't know. I don't see paying 3 or 4 or 5x the price making it that much more worth it.
Dude, this is terrifying.
Yeah, that's
dude, people love the turtle stuff though. This stuff goes gangbusters.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine it would. There's a lot of turtle fans out there.
But it's nightmare fuel. Yeah.
Damn, that is crazy. Freaking.
The problem though is like, let's say you're a collector and you spend this kind of money. Now you can send it off to Tom and he can store it. But like, do you leave it or do you restore it? That's a hard question, huh?
I don't know. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting. Like, I think I'd want to fix that, but damn, dude. I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good freaking question.
I think if it's like a mask or foam latex, it's just going to get worse, isn't it? Really badly. Yeah. I think with the helmets and stuff and chipping, I think I would keep it as it is.
I think if it goes through Tom's hands as well, if you say it's been through Tom Spina's hands, then that's going to maintain its provenance.
This Fifth Element gun is freaking sick.
Oh, that's
that's kind of cool.
So cool. Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's amazing the stuff they get their hands on and sell.
It always amazes me how much the quantity and
it's the volume of it. It's the volume of it.
It's not just one auction a year either. It's like 2 auctions a year, isn't it? There's one in London and one in Los Angeles. Could be up to 3, I'm not sure, but there's so many auctions and they always have a ton of stuff.
That's unbelievable, man. I mean, the metal.
I kind of wish I collected all the catalogs, to be honest, because they just look so much fun.
Well, the catalogs look great, don't they?
Yeah.
So cool, guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's just freaking amazing. I just find it so fascinating. It was fun. I'm glad we got to go through that because
Yeah, definitely.
I always forget that they're doing these auctions, and then Jason will be like, "Oh, we should talk about this auction or whatever," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, like it'd be great." I just they just seem to happen so often now.
It happens often, yeah.
And he's right that like. We keep seeing pieces come up over and over and over again, right? That people are putting back up. It's fascinating.
Yeah, but that's just like any collecting. You buy something, you sit with it for a year or two, something else, new toy pops up.
Shows up. Yeah.
Use your collection to pay for your collection, right?
Yeah,
I think that's
for sure.
Because David Mendel, I know I keep talking about him, but it was just on the show that he said he's got 2 screen used Stormtroopers suits, and he said, well, one I could sell to put towards the Vader saber, for example. So that's why these things end up back in auctions, is because they want something else.
Yeah.
In auctions it's tough because everybody knows, whether it's Propstore or eBay, the psychological effect it has in the last few minutes when you're like, I'm gonna cap out this. And then you just start like boom, 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 and then you're like, whoa, what did I do? I'm 3,000 over what I thought I was gonna spend.
Yeah. Well, if you got your heart set on something, right, you go a bit mental.
Yeah, but the competitiveness starts kicking in, and you even if you won it, you sometimes kick yourself. And then there's nothing worse than losing out to like such little money. Yeah. And I remember it was the Stormtrooper helmet at the time that I was after, and oh my god, I lost out to like maybe like $1,200, and that was it was horrible because it was such. Now, if I had lost out to like 20 grand, I'd be like, I was nowhere. I didn't belong in that lane anyways. What am I doing? But when you lose out to like $1,200, it's like, you know, it's like an eBay item. When you lose out by like $2, it's like seriously, and you lose. You know?
That's happened on eBay many times.
Oh, when it's like, especially when it's like $1, you know, your wife calls your name, hey, Pa, yeah, babe, what is it? And then you're like, oh, I just missed it. You know, like it's always for that like silly reason too. You know, you took a work call or whatever, and then the auction ends, and find yourself kicking yourself.
Well, guys, I mean, I know that was a little bit long, maybe longer than a little bit than usual, but
that's good fun.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, and bummed that we missed Nathan. Hopefully next time he can jump on. But it was nice being able to talk through all that stuff, especially the Propstore stuff's great. I love seeing that kind of stuff. So
you could do a whole show on that.
I know. We honestly we need to start covering it more because it's so fascinating, and it's just there's so much to talk about, and I think we should be covering that more. By the way, but
who's getting the Lego set? I'm kidding.
Hell no.
No.
$1,000? Hell no.
I like it, but
yeah, I know. I think that's going to be it for us guys. I appreciate everyone hanging out and spending time with us, and you know, anybody watching this afterwards, really appreciate you as well. And make sure you like and subscribe if that matters to anybody. And you know, just thank you for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. So, and Tony and Parm, thank you for your time as well. We
it was a pleasure.
Really do.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, guys. I think that's it for us. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.